Stream is live.
How The Last Jedi saves the prequels. Disney finally explains what balance in the Force really means. Oh, no.
What the hell? Can't answer that.
Answer it, Armand. You know you want to. Don't give me no hand-me-down jobs. We got 3 people first today.
3 of them? How's that?
Oh, running on
The only true
flashlight
first
on.
today is Russell Burns, followed so closely by everybody. Rennie, Keaton, everybody, Donna, Victor, Peach, Jason, Danielle. What's up, everybody?
Man, oh man. Well,
I didn't see anyone here.
They missed us. I think we've
Brandon.
been absent for a while.
It's like 3 weeks.
Shut up, Siri.
Don't you tell Siri to shut up?
She's a bitch, man.
What?
Siri.
Did you ever print on her sheets?
Yeah, they're printed. They're just sitting in the printer.
Team Highness.
Hey, Victor.
Oh, yeah, man.
All
What's
right.
up with some Inus?
Don't give me no hand-me-down, Highness.
Where's
Yeah,
he
no, that wouldn't
been?
be okay.
Where is he?
I don't know. I got
Oh,
one
God.
already.
I don't know if we have one already.
Boom, boom, chicka boom, chicka boom, chicka boom, 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 chicka boom, chicka boom, chicka boom.
Hey.
Are you going to go get her sheets, you know?
Oh, my shirt says St. Louis. St. Louis Cardinals.
Sounds made up.
Yeah.
Is that a real team?
Log in and try to
Yeah,
process a
it's
payment
not
through
exactly.
PayPal. How about
It's a present from Tonga.
Dude, Rennie, I thought that same thing yesterday. I'm too old and too fat to go to Iran. There's no way they're taking me, so.
You're going to Iran. What?
No,
You going
I'm-
to fight for us?
No, I'm not going anywhere. Too old and too fat. Too good looking.
Too valuable to his country.
Bob fucking White. Been a man, that's for sure.
What did you think about that Suleiman getting plastered all over the pavement?
Suleiman, the
Yeah. Qasim
Arabian,
Suleiman.
the Persian?
Well, he's Iranian, yeah.
I don't know much about him.
There's not much of him left. I think they found his hand.
Yeah, they drone struck him.
Yep. They blowed him up real good.
Take one and pass it down, Armand. What's up, Frank Reynolds? You
Only the
motherfucker.
normies
Frank,
believe
hey,
that shit,
hey, Frank.
Armand.
What?
Only the normies believe we actually blew him up. Get your shit together.
What do you
He's
think?
hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein. Is
What do you
I
think happened?
Oh, I don't know. I don't say
Him and Epstein are hanging
Hillary?
out.
Hillary got him?
Yeah, maybe. We got Armand in a position of power today.
That's right.
This actually looks pretty good, I think. The angle. What do you think, Eric?
Yeah, you can't see my bald spot. It's beautiful.
That's kind of why we
Perfect.
put you back there.
Thank you.
It is not bad. I don't mind it so much.
We've been constantly checking.
Hey, listen, you guys check out my millionaire
Yeah, I
show.
looked at
I
Mel's
forgot how good looking I was. Man,
you were a handsome
Oh,
man back
God.
in the day.
they put that.
you
I
fucking-
haven't seen that show in years, and they
You
put that on
didn't
the
hit
TV.
1 million, and you just pounded straight to the bottom of the good-looking pile, though. That's for sure.
Yeah, God, that was 18 years ago.
Yeah, no problem, Dirk. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Dirk.
Victor, we're going to talk about the new info today on this show.
What new Epstein info?
Yes,
Is
sir.
there new info?
Yes,
New
sir.
shit has
Oh,
come
really?
to light.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes.
Well,
I
that's
mean,
kind of
it's
in
beautiful,
keeping with
but-
Columbine.
It turns
You know?
out that
Senseless.
Hillary actually is Epstein. Not a lot of people saw that coming. I did. I saw that coming. I saw Hillary coming. She had a
You are
penis.
prescient.
I am a Persian.
Don't say that. Drone strike.
Hey, everybody, remember to like, comment, and subscribe on this video.
Says the Persians.
Persian, though.
Thanks for What'd you think, Russell? Did you like the episode?
What episode are you talking about?
I guess my millionaire episode.
His
I was good looking,
episode.
wasn't I? God damn. I hate looking at that.
How'd you come to that conclusion?
What, that I was good looking?
Yeah.
I saw it.
Oh.
I didn't say I'm good looking now. I was 18 years
You
ago.
did have LASIK with not lasers, with scalpels, correct?
That was 20. That was.
He had
that was-
LASIK with
that
a
was in-
welder.
I'm just trying to prove to the
They
fact
just
that your eyesight isn't the most
stick with
Perfect.
them.
My eyesight is perfect.
I'd
What,
like to have,
what
I'd
do the
like to have an
girls think?
eyesight contest
Donna,
against you.
what other girls are on here?
What did you say? You're gonna have a seeing test against him? You guys are gonna have a seeing test?
I'd like to have a seeing test, yeah. Sight test, if you will.
A sight test? Sure.
So you do better on a sight test. I think I got better vision than you.
My vision's
Maybe,
better.
but mine's
Oh.
20/20.
I'm better than 20/20, sir.
All right, well then you might be better.
I
But
might.
I told you the guy left me a little nearsighted in my left eye, and I don't need reading glasses. All my friends use reading glasses. I don't need them. So that's
Look
the
at this
best
guy.
thing I ever did.
He's got the eyes of a 30-year-old
Isn't he 30?
and the dong of a 1-year-old.
Hey, you talking about me?
Yes, sir.
I don't even have the dong of a 1-year-old. I've got an undescended testicle.
No, you got it
Jason
in a
killing
bottle in
the
your car. I've seen it.
See you guys too.
He's got the testicles and penis of a 1-year-old in a
Jessica
jar.
says I'm still good looking. How's that?
Donna says
Not bad
she'd
for.
hit
She's
it,
probably
but
not
she
talking
doesn't
about
want
you.
Tonga to kill her.
Yeah, that's right. She's a tigress. Hey, not bad for 56.
66 years old.
You're 66.
That's not
50,
bad.
56.
You're
56.
66
okay.
times in the head.
I'll be just as good looking at 66.
Light
don't
Peach says
worry.
he'd hit it.
Who?
Light Peach. I think he's talking
Oh.
about you.
That's a
It's
she. Isn't
Tonga
it?
Black. I know she's not.
She isn't?
No.
Hey, listen,
You
gay
don't
guys
know.
have very good taste. I'll take a
How do you
compliment
figure that
from a
out?
gay guy.
Experience?
Yes,
They taste
yes,
good?
from gay bars.
They have a very nice taste to them. It's kind of
Yes.
salty, but proteiny. as well.
Proteiny.
Proteiny. as
Hey,
well.
I've docked before.
Proteiny weenie.
Let's dock.
Let's not.
That's
Initiate
still cracks me
docking
up.
procedures.
You never heard that before, for
No,
real?
I never
Oh,
heard-
man.
you had to explain what it was to me.
Come on.
See, I thought he was
Come
much
on.
sicker than that. You know what I mean? Like he would have definitely heard of docking.
Oh,
I've never heard that. Never heard that term. I was just impressed that somebody came up with
in
it.
my accent today.
So I guess now somebody has to have a foreskin to dock, though, right? You can't have two
I'll let you
circumcised.
At least
guys.
one foreskin has to be involved.
All right. What is it? What is it if there's no foreskin?
Well, then it's just sword fighting.
It's touching tips.
Touching? Is that what it is?
Yeah,
I
sword
mean,
fighting, touching tips.
Be
Yeah.
serious. That's all it is.
Fencing.
Fen-
Ching, 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 ching,
Don't
ching,
cross the
ching.
streams, I guess. I don't know.
Fencing.
Rennie, you did miss the Patreon show, but literally
You
so did
fucking
we.
Didn't. Oh. Asshole.
I'm not 66. I'm 56.
He is 66.
Very
ladies and
youthful.
gentlemen.
56.
I will
does look
send
good
you
for
an
66.
autograph stamped envelope or
Kind
something.
of like Count Dooku.
Oh yeah, I like the that's Christopher Lee.
Uh-huh.
He's great. One of my favorite actors.
Oh, he's so nice. Christopher
He's been
Lee.
looking forward to this.
Hey, we got to put that on our list of movies to
purchase.
to purchase.
What's
the,
that?
The Wicker Man with Christopher Lee.
The old one, huh?
Yeah, the old one.
You don't get enough Christopher Lee in episode 2 and 3? Or no?
I don't know. That's not. He's Dracula.
Saruman, and he was in the Lord of the Rings movies. He played Saruman.
I don't want to see that shit.
Lord of the Rings was
No,
good
I like-
movies.
he was best in Dracula, Horror of Dracula. What's that? Dracula is risen from the grave. I mean, he did a bunch of them.
He was in that one movie called Your Large Jewish Body.
No,
Yeah,
that
he's
was
trying,
that
yeah.
was Miss. What was her name?
Betty Grobenstein.
Yeah,
Grovenstein.
Betty Grovenstein.
Do I make you horny?
I'm gonna marry her.
I'm all clean shaven like a 13-year-old boy at his bat mitzvah.
Bat mitzvah.
Yeah, whatever.
All right. Let's
You
do
about
this.
ready?
Yeah, I've been ready.
All right, Armand, here's how this is going to work today. You're going to hit that big green bright button that says record. Go ahead and hit that.
Okay.
And now in a second, whenever you're ready, bottom right purple, big purple button.
Yeah.
No, hold on. Right to the left of that, there's a slider.
Yeah.
Turn that up. A little more. That's good. When you're ready, purple button, we'll start the show. Okay. Hit that button again.
That's not going to be the
Hit
right
hit the red button.
That's not going to be the right one.
This one.
No, the record button. Yeah, fuck that up. So I'll be right back.
Well, let's talk to the gang.
Well, Armand Farrell, his first day as producer.
Let's see now. Is it a lightsaber battle? Somebody.
What'd you say? What's a lightsaber battle?
Well, I assume the
The
you know,
docking?
Yeah. Well, not docking with no foreskin.
And lightsabers?
Turtle heading.
Mm.
Somebody says
This is
turtle heading.
getting real interesting here.
That's
real
fucking
quick.
pretty descriptive.
Yeah, that's explicit.
Yeah, turtle heading. Wow.
Turtle heading. That's good too.
Okay.
I mean, who comes up with these? These are very imaginative terms. You have to admit.
That's what I said. They're very fucking descriptive.
Yeah.
The turtle heading was
Mm.
phenomenal.
Mm. All right, let's try this again.
Let's do it again. Yeah. Mhm.
Same procedure as before, Armand.
Press the record button.
Now the purple one on the bottom right. No, the bottom right one. No.
Your other right.
That's funny. That's not purple.
It's magenta.
It's lavender.
Lavender's a shade of blue.
You're listening to Surreal Talk, a look inside the world of cults, conspiracies, and the paranormal.
Something's not right, man. Something's not right. Something's bullshit here. and I don't believe it.
Honestly, this crazy shit could be completely possible.
Think so?
Disclaimer, we reserve the right to be wrong, ladies and gentlemen. You think you know the whole story?
Do you?
Think again.
Now your hosts, Eric and Everett.
And Armand. Welcome to Surreal Talk, a look inside the world of cults, conspiracies, and the paranormal. A lineupmedia.fm production, and we are back.
Back again after another pretty common 3-week.
7 years, it feels like.
Feels like a while. I've been in the studio a lot. You haven't been in a
We
while.
did a couple of Ocho Man shows while you were. What were you welding on the
I've
Eiffel Tower or something? What were you doing?
Yes. No, I've been, welding at night for some
Putting a new
extra money.
gargoyle on the Notre Dame.
Yes, I like gargoyles.
What were you welding?
Containers. It's an easy way of saying dumpsters.
Trash containers, large
Yes.
ones.
Receptacles.
Yes, receptacles. Yeah. Just flip them over, cut the bottom off of them, and then weld all the way around and pot a plate on it. Yeah.
What for?
Gravy shits because they're rotted out.
Oh, okay.
So that's what you did
you're
on your Christmas break.
You're repairing them.
Repairing, 100%.
I mostly came to work every day.
I thought it was
could've-
some sort of art project or something.
Ah,
I did.
ah.
Like a
He doesn't do art.
like a
It's
Brancusi
gay. It's
sculpture.
fucking gay. Art.
Yeah.
No.
Hey,
No art,
no,
man.
docking is gay. That's not gay.
Well, what does it matter?
Well, I'm actually surprised we haven't done this subject, or you guys haven't done.
Haven't
this
done a subject on
before.
docking?
No. Well,
Oh,
that's
Columbine.
That's an upcoming
What are we talking about?
show.
Well, eventually we're going to talk about Columbine. Before that, I
Oh.
wanted to talk about the whole the shit that came out about Epstein. They released the pictures of his neck, pictures of his cell, pictures of a noose that he may or may not have
When?
used.
Just today?
Yesterday or the day before
Okay.
one. Let's see.
Please, let's talk about it.
So, yeah, here's the pictures, Armand. You can find these online. They're real easy to find. There's the pictures of his neck. What do you think? Right? Does that look like a standard hanging to you?
Doctor, is that
I'm
consistent
not
with-
exactly a forensic podiatrist, but
Well, you should be.
It's way far from the feet. But
I can detect. I don't know. Yeah, it looks like quite a bit of trauma there.
yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
and let's see. There was 3 bones broke as well. Hold on.
That's what. Yeah, that's what the guy. Didn't his brother have a pathologist come in and do a private autopsy?
Something like that.
Yeah, and he said there's 3 bones broken. That's very irregular.
Yeah, in the state, the state medical examiner for the prison system in New York or someone like that has quoted as saying that in the history of hangings, self-hangings at in New York prisons, those 3 bones have never been broken at the same time together. Never happened.
There you go.
Now, this could
Come
be a
on.
special case. Come
yeah,
on.
yeah. Well, it's not out of the realm of possibility. But what were the other circumstances? We went over this. Where the 2 guards were not there. One was they were asleep or whatever.
Everything
the cameras were
that-
off.
They
Oh,
didn't check
so
on him for
wrong.
like an hour after they were
Right.
supposed to.
His roommate or cellmate was taken away. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
This.
They've also not released pictures of him actually in the cell. His body. Maybe they won't. I don't know.
Well, it was my theory that he never died. But I
Well,
guess
yours and a lot of other people's.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
They broke his neck somehow. I mean, he died. He had a broken neck.
You're pretty sure he's
we're
dead.
sure that's Epstein because I don't
Well, no.
see. They do a DNA test and everything on that.
Armand, I have not done the DNA testing. I have not poured through the.
And I got you that DNA
figures
kit for
and
Christmas.
Analytics, and no, I've not.
Have they
looked
done
at
a
the
docking
papers.
test?
I got him the DNA kit for Christmas. He could have done this. It was mostly for figuring out if some of these children that have been coming up were illegitimate or actually his. But no, he's got the kit.
What?
Just making a joke. I said I got you that DNA kit, but it was mostly for finding out if all these children.
I was trying to hit the laughter
Oh,
button.
Hit it again. Hit it again.
Where's,
There it is. Your other left.
I'm a producer.
Armand.
He's a producer.
Hey, what are you gonna do? If put it on your fucking
Well, it
LinkedIn,
was
buddy.
funny.
Yeah. Long story short, I don't think we've seen the end of the old Epstein story yet.
Yeah, there's either
All right,
more
so
people
what's-
are going to die. Number one, I bet there's either going to be some doctors. Somebody that's going to validate that evidence is going to die. That's my guess.
Probably
Calling
dead
it now.
already.
Calling
If
it
they
now.
could validate that evidence or invalidate that evidence, they're dead already. Don't you think?
I
I don't think.
yeah.
I don't think anybody's going to be coming forward. They've already been buried.
Well, maybe, yeah. I don't know. I think, like, Armand, if somebody said, look at this for me and give me your professional opinion on it.
Okay.
You didn't know anything about it. And you looked at it and you're like, hey, yeah, this fucking guy was killed. This is a fucking fuck. You're a well-respected pathologist. Well, not you.
I'm none of the above.
Imagine that somehow in some weird universe you are a well-respected doctor and pathologist.
Yes. It's in some multiverse.
That's dead people,
they're-
right?
What's that?
Pathology, that's like a corner.
No, pathologist is diseases. You know,
Oh yeah, that's right. So what was
Coroner? I thought you said coroner.
what's a coroner?
A coroner is also a doctor. It's a medical examiner, but
yeah, I think
but
that's a city employee.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're
God
an
damn it.
elected
What's
coroner.
the name of the position? Like like you got a podiatrist, pathologist.
Coroner.
Pathologists do autopsies.
There you fucking go. So I wasn't wrong. Go fuck yourselves, guys.
Well, I mean, you're technically completely off.
Think about it. Think about it. The Burbs, Tom Hanks, he's a well-respected pathologist.
Was he?
I don't think that's what he says.
That's what the cop says to Tom Hanks.
Well, we'll find out later.
I
It's
promise
hardly
you,
here.
and you-
Hey, would
you
you
know
hand me
it's
that piece of
true.
paper under your chair there?
No.
I'll just have to steal yours. Anyway, let's hop into the meat, man. We're done with the potatoes.
What are we talking about?
Columbine, 1999,
You
April
guys
20th.
call them killers. Some people call them terrorists. I just call them
Martyrs?
fine.
Are they martyrs?
I can't believe you did that joke. It's not even funny.
Yeah, that was funny. Thank you, Armand. Yes,
was funny.
He might not be bad in the
Yeah.
producer's chair already. I'm just saying.
I don't know about that, man.
What other sound? Do I have any other sound effects? Do I have
Get
like-
them over with.
Do I
Try
have
them
a,
out.
do I have a fart here?
Start them.
Wow.
Yep,
Wow,
yep,
turn the
that
slider
one.
back down just a little too.
Yeah, turn that slider to the left there, down just a little.
This one?
The one you turned up.
Yeah, that one there. Okay,
right.
I'll try the green.
Oh, that's a good. I'll be
Hey,
using
but
that. That's a good one. That's a good one too.
He's always just laughing at
Man.
the fucking effects. Hey.
I thought it was funny.
Oh, Jesus.
I'll be using that on myself. Well, I need that one.
There's a really good one up there with like when you get to ranting. There it is.
Oh, that's for the Ocho man.
That's for the rants. No, that's when you just talk about like, this is bullshit. I think that
No, that is for Donald J. Trump, buddy.
Let's not get into that.
Yeah.
Damn
All
right.
It's not dedicated to him. I want to throw that out there for everybody. It's
Moment
not.
of silence for Qasim Suleiman.
How's this a moment
Is there
of
an
silence?
end to this?
If you press the
Yeah,
button,
you have to
Oh.
press the button again.
Jeez, I thought it was just. Oh, that
you
makes
got
sense.
you got one more button. You want to
So-
get over with?
Oh, yeah, that one.
That one is
Wow.
dedicated to President Donald J. Trump.
Hey, fuck.
There we
the last
go.
one.
There we go. All right. So,
Yeah.
Now that we
case-
got that over with.
in case
Jesus
you've been living
Christ.
under a rock for the last, fucking 20 plus years, this happened in '99. So, that was a bad shooting. Two dudes, high school kids. Eric, what was his name?
Harris,
Harris.
Dylan Klebold.
You
Yeah,
want to just do that?
No, I'm just helping you out.
I don't know. What was
They-
Harris's
they-
first name? Klebold and Harris. I know that.
Eric Harris.
Eric Harris. Okay.
Yeah. So they went into their school in Littleton, Colorado, Columbine High School.
And this was Hitler's birthday, as I recall, correct?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
It was. It's no longer.
I have not prepared for this
Yeah, no,
show. I'm
they,
doing this completely extemporaneously.
They've changed both Hitler's birthday and this since.
They decided, they just couldn't have them both at the same day. It's been changed.
Fucking with you, Armand.
Oops.
It's not good. Not fucking good.
I got two
Okay,
buttons.
you see that
I
slider
picked
right
the
to the
wrong
left?
one.
You see that slider right to the left again? Turn that all the way down.
Uh,
Thank you. Okay, that'll help out later.
But yeah, so there was a April 20th, 1999. They killed 13 people and injured
it's
24
not
others.
funny. Wow.
But I found this out later because I was finding a lot of like inconsistencies on how many actually got injured. Some said 24, some said 21. But it was 24 injured, but only 21 of them were injured by the shooters.
Yeah, some of them
Well,
got
I
injured
would-
escaping.
Yeah, I'd imagine there's
Yeah.
plenty of injuries trying to get the hell out of there,
That-
right? The
so
trampling and
There were people crawling through the there were,
yeah,
there were
God
high
only
school
knows.
kids.
I'd jump through a window
crawling through
if
the
some guy had
vent
a,
house and shit.
of course. Now I'm not sure, but I know when we had the what was the one in was it Massachusetts?
Sandy Hook.
Sandy Hook.
Yes.
We were doing the Ocho Man show, and I think Nick Drago claims that these are all phony. I know he claimed that was.
Yeah.
Well, this
don't
one
know
has
how this
never
could-
really been claimed to be phony.
Yeah,
This was
okay.
kind of
I
this
wish
at,
Nick were
at the
here.
time. This was the biggest school shooting in U.S. history by far.
Yeah, I think
There was only 1 to 2 deaths per. Maybe I think there might have been a 5 death, but none with 15 deaths,
none of
including
this
the shooters.
scale. Well, two of these guys.
Yeah, 2
premeditated.
one teacher, 12 students. Definitely premeditated.
Oh,
I think
God,
they
yeah.
might have been planning this as far as a year in advance.
They were. They said so. They found home videos that were made prior to the attack that making references to what they were going to do.
These guys had
apologizing to their
money, I got to
parents.
say, by the way, to have
Yeah, the
access to.
resources these guys had.
They had video cameras. They all had cell phones. They
I wonder
had
if that's a
guns.
high, like a high income area right there.
Is it an affluent
it is.
area?
Is that what that means?
It's Colorado. I mean,
I would think.
before weed legalization, though.
yeah, well before that.
I gotta get my charger.
Columbine's a plant, isn't it? By the way?
I do not know.
Yeah,
it's in the
some
town
kind
of
of-
Littleton, is where the high school is.
But a Columbine is some kind, because I know Shakespeare talks about the Columbine,
Oh, does he?
not concubine.
They killed 12 students, 1 teacher.
And the teacher was heroic, wasn't he? When he saving, wasn't he?
Trying.
He was trying to save students. He died.
So they killed themselves at the end of everything as well. Take the coward's way out. But I'm pretty sure a lot of people think that they, were saying that was the plan all along.
Well, so that's what I didn't get about the entire thing. Looking at it, I never thought I was hung up on something that was an unimportant fact. Was like, did they shoot each other or did they shoot themselves?
That's an unimportant fact.
Well, here's an important fact. The Columbine is an aquilegia with long spurred flowers.
I'm glad we got that figured out.
There you go.
Yeah. So
anyway, do you think it matters whether or not they if it was me and you, if we shot each other to kill ourselves, or if we shot
That'd
ourselves?
be hard to do, wouldn't it?
I would
you
think so.
somebody'd fire first, and that'd be it. So that doesn't make sense to me. That
bullets travel
that's
fast.
Your pact. You're
Oh shit! I shot you fast. Now you can't shoot me.
Right.
well, then you just have to shoot yourself.
Well, then it was a murder suicide.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't know, man. I just wanted to know how they did it.
Anyway, you want to run through the timeline? I got a pretty good timeline about how this shit went down.
Well, yeah, I was just going to hit these facts, though, too.
All right,
So
hit your
SWAT
facts,
teams
then.
entered the school 47 minutes after the shooting started.
Wow,
5 hours, 47 minutes
That's
after.
pretty long.
Which is amazing because there was a on-duty police unit or police guy at the
He
school.
was hiding.
Well, he was
Oh,
over
boy,
at
another one of
the
them, huh?
smokers pit.
He was what?
Over at the smokers pit.
Was he having a mistake?
No, but that's just about where he was hanging out for that part of the day. You know what I mean?
Is that where the students smoke?
I would assume so. Yeah.
5
They still
hours.
have those?
We had one at our high school. 5
Yeah, not
hours
anymore though.
passed before they.
No, I guess 99. You probably would.
5 hours had passed before they declared the school a safe site to walk around. The
47 minutes.
47 minutes before they got
Doesn't that seem like an inordinately long time before help arrives?
Yeah, I mean, dude, 47
gotta be
minutes as a
kidding.
scared, sophomore in high school, hiding under a table or something. That's got to be a fucking eternity, dude.
Oh God!
You know what I mean?
4 minutes. Is
I was
an
scared
eternity.
of getting grounded, and my mom finding out I smoked weed.
Imagine this: you're
coming and shooting.
You're
me.
hiding in the
Fuck,
bathroom.
dude.
You're hiding in a closet, right? And you hear gunshots. Every time one gunshot's a little bit louder, you're shitting yourself. They're coming this way. They're coming this way. They're going to open this door. They're going to find me.
What do
They're
you
gonna shoot
do?
me.
What
Where would you
do?
hide? Would you hide in the
I
bathroom?
would
You don't
leave.
hide.
I would go exactly the opposite sound of the shots and leave. That'd be my plan.
You find 10 or 15 idiots,
I don't hide somewhere else in
idiots
the
just
school.
like yourself, and you rush them 2 gunmen and make sure that no one else dies.
So you're in
Oh,
a
yeah, you're a
stall.
hero.
You're taking a crap in the bathroom, and you start hearing this. What do?
Carry a knife.
You don't stay where you are and
Depends on the type of
sit
shit.
on the
'cause if
toilet
it's-
so they can't see your feet underneath.
If it's a bad shit day, I gotta finish.
well,
Sorry.
yeah, you're different. Yeah, you probably rather get shot than take a
That's true.
dumps you take.
I'm like, hey, I'm in here.
Yeah, really.
Take me out.
They'd spare you out of pity.
No, you got it worse, pal. We're gonna leave.
Yeah.
you.
I'm ripping
Right,
my
right.
shirt off and putting what do they call it, shoe polish on my face and shit.
You're going Rambo.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
yeah.
Gonna go ninja,
He's going
huh?
Die Hard.
Yeah.
Taking his shoes off, getting up in the ductwork. Ho ho ho! Now I've got a semiotic weapon.
What
Semiotic
weapons did they have? What'd they have?
So they each had a shotgun.
Wow.
One of them had a Tech 9 semi-automatic handgun, which is a clip. It looks like an Uzi, but it's still semi-automatic. And the other one of them had a 9mm,
like a Ruger rifle.
like a carbine, right?
It's like
Just
a
a
carbine.
9mm rifle.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
They had bombs too, didn't they?
They built a shit ton of bombs.
Holy
Honestly,
shit.
this wasn't even planned as a shooting.
Not at all.
It was planned as a bombing.
Okay.
They had both. Whenever they got there, and we'll go through this whenever we go through the timeline. They showed up to the school. They both had a duffel bag with a 20-pound propane tank in it, wired up to explode. They both came in, put those into the cafeteria, which Eric Harris did the research to find out which cafeteria lunch period was the most populated.
They were going for mass casualties, the most impact they could
Obviously.
They
yeah.
they actually looked up to Timothy McVeigh as a hero.
Yeah.
They wanted to outdo his mark. Though. They
they
wanted
have
more than
video.
the 500
Yeah.
people.
have on of them saying,
Timothy McVeigh of the Alfred
Oklahoma.
Murrah building. That was
Yeah.
another
Oh yeah,
building.
yeah.
Alfred P. Murrah, right? Or
Murrah,
is that- yeah.
whatever, Murrah, yeah.
But they took
Oklahoma City.
They took the pipe bombs, or not the pipe bombs, the propane bombs into the cafeteria, set them down, and they set alarms on them to go off at 11:17 a.m. But they failed.
They went back out to their car to wait on these explosions. Okay, so the original plan was they go in there, they set these bombs off, people die, people come running out, they start clipping anybody that they can that's coming out of there, just shoot anybody.
Clean up the
And
stragglers.
and then they had 2 more bombs set in each one of their cars set to explode at 12 o'clock. So they were after they shot all the stragglers, they were to like get the fuck out of there or commit suicide. And then when there was paramedics and other survivors, police, reporters, their cars were supposed to explode and kill those people outside.
You can find footage on the internet where one of their cars does explode. You can see it go poof, like expand real good. Like it doesn't explode like in a giant fireball.
It's like
all the windows blow out of it.
Inside of a soda can?
A can, yeah. Basically, it expanded it real bad. And so, any which way, after the bombs didn't go off, like Eric said, they got tired of waiting, so they got their guns out, and they proceeded towards the school. And they just started opening fire pretty much on whoever they saw.
Yeah,
and these guys were students there, right?
Students,
they were students.
Oh boy.
One of the most common narratives you'll see too is that they were bullied students, and that was the main main motivation behind this. But that doesn't seem to be the case to me. They may have been in fact bullied. They probably were. They were kind of an outcast. They did wear the trench coats. It may be possible they weren't even actually part of the whole.
They called themselves the Trench Coat Mafia.
Well, the other people that were the Trench Coat Mafia are quoted as saying, no, they weren't actually a part of us.
Yeah.
Of course,
so
that
there
could be an
actually
after
is-
the fact distancing.
Oh,
but
yeah. Of course. Like, no. We weren't with those crazies. Fuck no.
whether they were
We're
or
the
they were
regular
not,
Trench Coat Mafia.
I don't think that Trench Coat Mafia itself had, just the fact that they were part of that had anything to do with what they were doing. Especially with Eric Harris. Eric Harris was
that was
a
the
psychopath.
mastermind. He was
right.
he was a psychopath for sure.
You wonder what the psychiatric evaluation of guys that would come up with something like this and go through with it is.
I literally looked that up, Armand.
Oh, good.
I'm serious. Like, I wanted to know why. Like,
Yeah, well, I'm sure
fuck-
everybody does, but
What was going on? I was like, and I told Everett before I even looked it up, I said, I don't buy the fucking bullying. I don't buy it. Not with the way that they did this shit. I don't buy it.
Well, I would buy it if it would have been that every person they killed was like a jock or a preppy or something. People that are bullied.
They're indiscriminate.
They were
indiscriminate.
indiscriminate.
For the most part,
But
they
that
were
makes more
indiscriminate.
sense to me. What are you going to do? Go around and are you on the football team?
here's-
You're
here's
just going
the
to
fucking-
unload on everybody. You
Here's the
just
fucking
boiled
kicker.
over.
Here's the fucking kicker. If they were bullied and they did this because they were bullied, when they walked into the library, the first fucking person that the one dude shot shot him in the back of the head with a double-barrel shotgun was a kid that he was mentally challenged. He didn't know to run and hide. He was sitting there just chilling. He was a mentally handicapped student. And they shot him dead in the back of the head with a
Blew his head off,
shotgun, blew his
basically.
fucking head off.
That's what I'm saying, though. I don't think they just wanted their notion of revenge was.
Exactly.
I'm sure if you said here's a football player and here's a mentally handicapped kid, they're going to shoot the football. You got one bullet.
Sure, but they were indiscriminate about it.
Wanton. This was just wanton destruction.
Yeah, I mean, a few times there was instances like in the cafeteria where they said
It was the
anybody with
library. That was the library
well,
also.
either which way, where they had said anybody with a white hat stand up, because in their school, people who wore the white hats were the jocks.
Uh-oh.
That was just the thing. They're going to shoot anybody with a white hat. Well, nobody would stand up, so they said, fine, we'll just start, picking ourselves. In the cafeteria, they were fucking with people too. Like Eric Harrison went over to a table that his girls were at under it, and he gets under there and he goes peekaboo, and then shoots him.
And then they asked the one kid if she believed in God.
And that was kind of a misquote on that. It was somebody who had already been shot before that.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, oh my God, please save me. And he turns around and is like, do you actually believe in God after she'd been shot? And she's like, yes, I do. And he's like, why? Because that's the way my parents raised me. Which is a real
Did
weird
she
thing.
survive?
I don't think he killed her. I think he killed somebody else that was fucking with it. That one kid he shot in the hand, and he like the kid,
Oh, he killed that kid.
kid fought back, threw a chair at him or whatever, and they shot him right in the face.
Yeah. And he was like, quote,
They
he started
shot
with him
multiple-
because he goes, hey, 4 eyes, just because he had glasses on him. And is that somebody who's a bullied person?
It doesn't sound like a bully to me.
Seems like a guy would be on your team if you were being bullied.
Right. You wouldn't go in there and go after the quote unquote nerds or the people
People who are being bullied as well. Yeah,
Right.
Those
The
are,
outcasts. Yeah.
enemy of my enemy is my friend.
You
right?
wouldn't think that. Anyway, let me start with the
I'm
timeline.
sure these guys. Were any drugs involved here? These guys don't sound like they were
yes.
in their right
Pharmaceuticals,
minds. Yeah.
Ritalin, antidepressants.
You got to be on something to be.
Come on.
God.
Wacky tobacco.
I don't think marijuana would make you. You just want to.
By the way, it's legal now.
Yeah. Wouldn't you want to just sit down and play the sitar with these people?
Yeah, let's do that.
That's what you would do.
Ravi Shankar's coming over this
Yeah,
weekend,
yeah.
so yeah.
Ravi
I knew you were going to make that
Shankar.
joke, so I had to. All right, sorry. Timeline.
Oops.
Good.
God damn it! I got the wrong button again.
Timing is everything with those, Armand.
Yeah, you're No, that's not even the right one to use there.
Yeah, no. He can't do this.
Give me the. God damn it, Armand. Second one down on the right. Second one down on the right.
From the top. There you go.
Is that the one you want?
That's the one I wanted.
Can I hit two at once? That's for ironic.
Don't hit
That's
even
for
one at
irony.
once, and we'll be a lot better off. Not even one at once.
I think my days as a producer are limited.
Yeah, you're fired.
I may not even make it through the day.
Yeah, so they didn't know at the time, though, but like you said earlier, the journals that the investigators discovered let them know that they were planning it for that long. They found all those tapes.
Oh man, I've got the Trenchcoat Mafia website that's got quotes from Eric Harris and
Why don't you
whatnot.
follow the goddamn thing here.
So where did they get these quotes? I guess from survivors that heard all this and saw it, and I guess thankfully survived, huh?
Well, and actually, this is something I thought was weird too, because like my high school, not that I know of, it didn't have like all these video cameras, and I graduated in 2001. This happened in '99, and theirs was like completely they like had fucking footage of everything. You know what I mean? Like my high school didn't have that.
Did they post that anywhere? Can you see that?
You can see, yeah.
You can get
literally.
some of the footage, yeah.
Oh God, it's
You
got
can
to be pretty
also-
gruesome.
You can see a lot of the stuff that goes on in the cafeteria. You can see the explosions where they were setting off pipe bombs in the cafeteria and shit like that.
You can also see on our Twitter feed at Surreal Talk Show. We posted a few pictures of it, but not in the video.
What do we post?
Just the one picture.
Oh, him with that little Tech 9, yeah.
The same one from the meme, yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right, you done with your little spot here so I can get the timeline?
timeline, bud. That's where you're at now.
So they arrived at the high school at 11:10 a.m. And I'm reading this off of a website that's acolumbinesite.com/event/event2.php. And there's way more information on this timeline than I'm going to go through here. I'm giving you the cliff notes about, what's going down. They parked their cars at flanking exits and entrances to the cafeteria. Eric parked his car at a parking place in the southeast lot. Dylan parked his in the senior lot to the southwest. They had a good view of the front entrance as well as the entrance to the cafeteria. Neither car was parked in its assigned spot. Shortly after 11:14 a.m., the gunman, dressed in black leather dusters, trench coats, and wearing wraparound sunglasses, carried 2 duffel bags into the school cafeteria, each containing a 20-pound propane bomb set to go off at 11:17 a.m. during the A lunch period when the cafeteria was the most crowded, according to Eric's notes. Just before their entry, a janitor turned off surveillance cameras to rewind the tape they recorded on, missing the act of the bags being left on the floor beside the 2 tables. There's the type of shit that leaves it open for conspiracy. You know what I mean?
What?
What I just said. Right before they entered the cafeteria, a janitor had turned off the security system to rewind the tapes. So they missed the part where they came in and put the duffel bags down.
They don't have that on tape, huh?
Conveniently, that was whenever he had decided to go and rewind the tapes.
Wow.
And he turned it on right back after that.
What the fuck?
What are you implying here, sir?
I'm not implying anything. All I'm saying is shit like that lets in conspiracy theories. You know what I mean? Whenever conveniently at this exact fucking time they're coming in to do this guy's turned off the security cameras. I'm not saying
Maybe he rewound the tape every day like that, and
maybe he
fucking
did.
Eric
And
Harris really did some.
Well,
planning.
there's no mention of it.
Right.
So
Was that the rub of this show, that there was more involved than meets the eye?
honestly, with this mass shooting, it is one of the least conspiracy-addled things
Well,
out
it's
there.
More
This is
true crime.
Exactly. This is more true crime than conspiracy.
In
Well,
my
then
opinion.
why are we even discussing it?
Because
we
we
are
do
cult
true crime. Here.
conspiracies.
We do true crime too, Armand.
You know what?
No, we don't.
We actually do whatever we want.
Seth Gore, what was his name?
What are you talking about? We did a Bitcoin episode, bro.
Well, that's a conspiracy.
Give it the time.
Chris Benoit was true crime.
Yeah, Seth Rich.
Seth Rich, that's what
O.J.
it was.
Simpson,
Goddamn, I couldn't remember his
West
name.
Memphis 3. Those are all true crime
Okay.
shows.
Well, when are we doing the Dillinger Gang?
Never. Never. Let's see. At 11:19, the Jefferson County Dispatch Center receives a 911 call from a person who reported hearing an explosion in the field to the far east side of the Wadsworth Boulevard. Long story short, here about 3 miles away, they had set up a dummy bomb to go off right before the bombing at the high school
It was a diversion.
to get the cops and all the emergency responders 3 miles away on the other side of town. As to
So it
really
wasn't a dummy bomb. It was a diversionary
bomb.
Yeah.
Well, it turned out to be a dummy bomb. It barely went off. It burnt some grass up. It did, though, succeed in getting people to go across town.
You know, I mean,
you might as well. Well, you have. If you were going to do that, why don't you just call the cops and say, "I planted a bomb such and such 3 miles away"?
These are high school students, not.
Well,
That's
it sounds
true,
like they
too.
thought of
Rhodes
everything.
College.
They did do pretty good for high school kids. You're right. I mean, but I can't expect
listen to
them.
this stuff.
Yeah, they did all right.
So you don't even have to plant a bomb. Just call in a bomb scare somewhere, and don't worry, you'll get plenty of action, right?
I mean, I guess.
You'd think so.
I've never called in a bomb.
But this is
scare.
a lot. That's
I know somebody that
1999.
did, and he got in a
Pulled
lot of
fire hydrant
trouble.
once.
Well, 20 years ago,
They don't like that either.
Oh,
it's
that-
still a
they
completely
pissed.
different time in our country.
Pissed.
1999 is
Yeah.
way different time than it is now.
Yes.
Pre 9/11.
Right.
You know, they didn't have all that air.
Pre 19 fucking school shootings having gone down since then. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Fuck, there's likely one a year for every year. I mean,
Since then, there's been many more. You can get on Wikipedia and there's a list of all
Yeah,
those.
Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
That was a big one.
Texas, there was one. Any which way, right around that same time, the 9/11, I keep saying 911 call was placed. Apparently, Eric and Dylan got tired of waiting, so they set the bombs up in their cars to explode. And they each took a duffel bag collectively containing 2 sawed-off shotguns, a 9mm semi-automatic carbine rifle, and a 9mm Tech DC-9 semi-automatic pistol,
Yeah.
and headed back to the school. They proceeded towards the hill towards the top of the west entrance steps, the highest point on the school grounds. So they were fucking going Hamburger Hill, let's get it on.
Yeah. They had the high ground.
From that position, they were near the north side of the library and cafeteria, with the cafeteria entrance below them. The west entrance was to their left and the athletic fields to the right. A witness heard one of the government shout, "Go, go," and both Harris and Klebold pulled out their shotguns and opened fire.
That was first shots.
Kind of amazing. They only killed how many? 13?
Right.
13
Yeah,
was
that's
sent
what I
to
was
them.
telling him.
47 minutes, and these guys are unloading?
I was telling him too, like
Jesus Christ.
Well, they didn't really have. There was only one weapon that was really accurate. Like any could be used for accuracy at all, and that was the rifle, the carbine, the 9mm carbine rifle. Everything
Yes,
else
but a
was
shotgun.
a semi-automatic. Exactly. What are you gonna do? You're gonna
Start
hit people
unloading.
50 feet away. It's a double barrel. It's a break open. You got to pull them out and reload, break it back. I mean, it's not
Still,
quick.
from 50 foot away, you can still kill somebody with that easy. Easy.
Maybe somebody that knows how to shoot could. I mean, and that's the thing.
That's the
like,
point of
these
having
kids,
a sawed-off gun. You don't have to be good at it.
Well, the spread's so. I mean, what are you gonna get hit? You get hit with one pellet. It's not guaranteed.
You don't even
kill.
know what kind of load they were using for one.
No,
they
I
could have
don't.
been using
Not
deer
at all.
slugs. So I mean,
Well, if they deer slugs, it'd be even harder to hit them with a
yeah,
sawed-off.
that's fair. That's fair. But we don't know. Point being, you're right. The carbine was their best shot at accuracy. There's also conflicting reports about how many shots they fired off. We saw one thing that said 900.
I'm gonna look again real quick.
I've seen a few things that just said a couple hundred rounds and as many as 100 explosive devices between pipe bombs and propane bombs. And let's see, where are we at next here?
We should have been on.
Richard Costado, Rachel Scott were sitting on the grassy knoll between the gunman and the entrance when they started shooting. Richards was hit with 8 bullets but survived. He suffered critical injury to his spine that would cripple him for life.
Jesus Christ. 8 shot. Wow.
Rachel was hit 4 times by bullets from Eric's 9mm high point, taking a fatal bullet to the head. Which is funny, or it's not funny, interesting. It says Rachel was mentioned on Eric Dillon's basement tapes in which they make fun of girls who are always talking about way too much about Jesus. Sorry.
Oh, she was a Bible thumper to them.
At least somebody named Rachel was. It might not have been in that exact Rachel.
They're not usually bullies either, so. Boy, these guys had something against
shit.
everybody.
In our school, those kids got bullied.
Yeah.
So, Eric Harris took off his coat at this point and dropped it near the stairs, and then he reloaded his weapon. Let's see. Let's go on a little further here. Dylan went to the cafeteria entrance, stepping on Sean Graves at 11:21. They were trying to figure out perhaps why the propane bombs didn't explode. At 11:22, the school custodian set the surveillance camera in the cafeteria to record again. So how many minutes was that? 4 minutes? No. 11:14 to 11:24. So
10.
10 minutes. No, 8 minutes.
14 to 24 is going to be
22 minutes. It was 11:22. Anyway, he set the camera to record again. On-screen students were beginning to notice what was happening outside. Some went to the big front windows to have a look. A community resource officer at the high school was sitting in his patrol call over by the smoker's pit when he received a call on the school's radio from the custodian to tell him that he was needed at the back lot of the school. At 11:23 and 9:11. Wow, how many times are we going to do that? 911 call.
9/11.
A 911 call was made at 11:23. It reported a female fallen in the south parking lot, and that's saying that she might be paralyzed, which is, of course, a shooting. 11:24, Coach Dave Sanders and the school custodians John Curtis and Jay Galantine entered the cafeteria to find out what was happening outside. Realizing the danger, they, with the help of a school security officer, directed students to get down and to hide under tables or to get out of the cafeteria and leave through the east exits. As students began to realize the situation was more serious than they initially thought, many panicked and ran, leaving behind their books, book bags, and even running out of their shoes in haste to get to safety. Wow.
I can understand that.
I've seen that plenty of times. People went in the fight and get punched out of their shoes. Like,
Yeah.
running out of your shoes is like a cartoon.
Uncle Tom hit that one guy in the face and knocked his hat up on the roof.
Yeah.
Well, I certainly wouldn't give a shit about my trig book or anything like that.
No, hell
I'm
no.
leaving that behind.
It's crazy to think like it. I've never been in a situation quite like that. You know what I mean? That's pretty fucking rough,
I don't know
dude.
if anybody knows what they do in that situation.
Well, right. So like the one kid that we watched on a video, he said that like he was sitting there laying there, he smeared blood on his face to make it look like he was dead. He'd already took a bullet, right? And he watched him come up and shoot this a friend of his right in the face, just point blank right in the fucking face, and guy had to watch his friend get shot in the face like that. I can't think that those 9mm rounds had much probably just would have put a hole. It's not gonna do it like a shotgun type damage, but fuck, man, to watch that, just even see your best friend get shot in the face. I don't know.
Well, that's another thing. I mean, okay, you're there, and the guy's coming up to you with a pistol. I don't know if I just sit there. I mean, I'm going to try to take him out.
Yes.
You're not going to just shoot me in
That's
the
what I
face.
told Everett. I said, look, man, you get fucking 15 guys. They got 2 fucking guys. You got, dude, bro.
Good luck getting 15 guys, is my point.
No, but I'm just saying, but if he's coming up to me with that thing pointed at me, you got nothing to lose at that point.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with you there, but my point is Eric somehow, he's quietly building up a 15-man army to rush these guys. Who are your idiots that are going first?
Exactly that.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck getting people to volunteer to be shot.
So
you can be the hero after they do that.
So what? Say 3.
Are you going to go first?
Say 3. Yeah, if I have to. So say 3 of them die, when you save, the potential 40 other kids that could have died from those gunshots.
That's all fine and well. If you want to be a hero and sacrifice your life like that, and I'm not all about sacrificing my life.
Okay.
You say you are.
I said okay.
I'd like to see. I've been in a situation where I know I'm going to fucking not do it.
Well, huh?
I know I failed in my situation before. I was always, I'd had to be the person, I always want to be the hero. And one time a lady fell down in front of me. And I was standing outside in front of the place I used to work, and an old lady fell on the curb and fell and hit the ground. I kind of froze, holy shit, what just happened? But the person who was with me thought, oh fuck, check to make sure this lady was fine. I know that if I had frozen on something as simple as a lady falling, I'm probably not doing too good in a situation like this. So my point is, be realistic. Most people you're going to be freaking the fuck out. You're going to be thinking, I got to get out of here. These people have guns. You've never had somebody shoot at you like that.
Not shoot at me. I've had a gun stuck in my face, and I've also
never
watched
seen one of your
people get
friends
their face hamburgered with fucking welding equipment and everything else. I've seen injuries that are pretty grotesque.
Yeah, but those are accidents.
Of course.
But when I'm talking about somebody shooting the faces off your friends right next to you.
The
You think
potential threat for human life stays the same regardless of whether it's an accidental or it's
that's
someone
not
else.
my point. I'm talking about your
You're
point.
saying reacting to it, right?
Right, how you're going to react at that point whenever it's either die or kill.
Okay.
I'm not sure anybody knows how they'd react. Because
that's my point,
the
too.
adrenaline dump, you just never know what's going to happen when you're...
I know what
I just love hearing these tough guys like Eric saying,
I know what I
fucking
wouldn't
take
do.
these guys out.
I wouldn't sit there and watch them fucking shoot everybody around me and wait for my fucking
I know
turn.
what you would do,
No
hopefully,
way.
is be self-preservant and try to get out of the situation. Instead of thinking, I'm going to go over here, I'm going to figure out a plan to take these guys out.
Let all those other people just
If
die.
you want to be John McClane, fine. I don't think that's a smart way to go about it.
Well, you can look at it however you want. You don't have to look at it like I'm looking at it. You can look at it however you want.
Well, that's fair.
I'd rather people didn't die if I can. If I could do something to stop that, why wouldn't I?
See, I'd like to see you in that situation. I don't know.
I'm just saying.
Well, the example of that would be the 9/11 where they rushed the cockpit, remember? The Pennsylvania.
Yeah, goddamn right. I'd have been right there.
But
With
At
there's
that
a little
point,
bit of a
these guys
difference
were already
between-
dead. They already figured we're dead. So.
Yeah,
There's a little bit
He
of a
only had a
difference.
fucking razor knife. Too.
Exactly.
Bring that shit all the way
You
on.
take your shirt off, wrap it around your arm, and run at a motherfucker with a knife.
Bring that shit all the way on.
When a guy's got a sawed-off shotgun and a fucking 9mm semi-automatic pistol, it's a little bit different rushing him. You know what I mean? Even if you got 15 guys.
Look, I watched Nick Cage take a bullet to the fucking arm and not move. Okay.
Yeah, that was
that's a salient point. Yeah.
Con Air. You seen that movie?
No, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, he's talking about Con Air.
Oh, okay. I thought it was To Live and Die in Vegas.
No. Oh, leaving Los? I don't know. He's got a lot
Leaving
of
Yeah,
Las
which
Vegas.
one was it? I don't know. Yeah, is that what it was? The one where he drank himself to death?
Jennifer Grey.
Yeah, that was such a good movie too. And it wasn't Jennifer Grey.
Yeah,
There was Elizabeth.
very
Shue.
entertaining.
Oh, fuck, they look so much alike.
No, they don't. Not even a little. Jennifer Grey was the
They
sister.
remind me of each other.
Okay. Okay. They were both in 80s movies. God damn it. Close enough. Get back to my timeline here and close it out. 11:25. Patty Nelson had made it to the checkout desk in the school's library. So if you find the schematics of the school, you can find out that the library and the cafeteria are right on top of each other. The library is up second floor, the cafeteria is on the bottom floor. So they can hear the fucking chaos going on right below them. Chaos is happening in the stairwells all over the place. They're shooting people down from the stairs. Anyway, in the library, Patty Nelson makes it to the library
Let me
checkout
ask you
area.
this: were these guys together through all this, or one? Were
They
on-
split up twice,
Okay,
I
they
believe.
split
But
up.
very,
So maybe when they
very
split
short.
up, you might take a shot.
that'd be
take
the
a
best
shot
spot to
at
do it.
If there's two of them, boy, I don't know, that'd be tough. But
Yeah.
because there were times when they were
They were
separated.
never. I would say from what I've read, they were never away from each other because everything happened so quick. They couldn't have been away from each other more than 30 seconds.
No, the one in the hallway upstairs, outside of the library, I think it was a minute or two at most, 2-3 minutes.
At most,
They weren't apart for very long.
She called 911 and she tried to get the students in the library to hide under the tables. The tables weren't very large and not designed to have people under them, but the students complied as best they could. They didn't really understand what was happening. Most of them thought it was a joke or a drill and kept moving around. Can you imagine that? This is just a joke. It's a drill. That's what a lot of people outside thought, too, because those kids were in drama club, and they thought that the guns they had were just prop guns. So they went on walking about their way, fucking took gunfire for walking that direction because they didn't realize the gravity of the situation.
I was in drama in high school, boy. We never fired off any blanks.
There were people that thought that it was fireworks, that it was a senior prank. There was a senior prank going on because they saw a bunch of people running and shit. It's like, oh, it's about that time of year for the senior prank. Because this was only like 3 days after prom. Prom happened that Saturday night, and this was Tuesday morning. Which one of the kids, I don't remember which one, I think it was Eric Harris, attended prom. He was actually there. He went to fucking prom.
Dylan Klebold.
Was it Dylan? Yeah.
He had attended prom. Eric Harrison went to the after prom.
He likes to party.
The guy had a date?
Klebold did, right?
I honestly, I never saw that he had a date. I know he was at the prom. I
shouldn't perpetuate that because, I don't know if he went with a girl or a...
Don't know.
Can you go to the prom without a date?
Fuck, you can do what you want, Armand. It's America.
Goddamn America. What's wrong with you? Let's see. Where are we going here? Where are we at? So... do we have a good explanation of everything went down in the library? This is kind of long form.
No, the library is...
That's where the majority of the
juice.
That's where they did the majority of their killing, basically running around, shooting people on their chairs.
See, there goes the bullying kind of concept, because the library is not where you'd go. You go to the gym or the practice field or something.
At one set of tables, there were 3 friends hiding. This is the interesting one, or an interesting one, was Matthew Ketcher, a football player, Isaiah Scholes, an ex-football player and wrestler whose father who had a dispute with the shooters, and Craig Scott, who was the younger brother of the victim, Rachel Scott, who was the first person shot earlier in the day that died. Well, not first person shot, first one to die, because that guy got shot 8 times. It was with her.
Yeah,
and
he lived.
Where are we at here? The shooters flanked the table on the east and west sides. Isaiah was heard to the witness have told the shooters he was scared and wanted to go home to see his mom. Dylan had made a racial comment towards Isaiah in one of the videos we watched with the...
this kid's black?
You're right.
These kids, the shooters were just incredibly racist.
But that, again, I don't think that was the complete motivation.
It wasn't the motivation, but they were still...
That's part of the whole cool part of it to them. You know what
exactly.
I mean? They're living out their own sick little, I hate to say it, video game type fantasy, fucking, we're weekend warrior, time to fucking let her rage out and
it's the same people from American History X that want to be the skinheads type of shit.
Exactly.
Hail Hitler type crap.
I think we could classify this as a hate crime.
Yeah. I mean, but... Not really, though. I mean, you can be, but it was indiscriminate. They hated everybody. It's still a hate crime, but there were white kids.
I agree exactly.
They hated everybody.
I agree exactly. One of the people said he used the N-word. He says, "Hey, we got us an N-word over here," and they pulled him out, and he wouldn't come out, so they shot him under the table. At the same time, as soon as they shot him, they shot the other kid on the they were on opposite sides of the table. 3 kids, shot one here, shot here, left the other one.
It's just
so he lived. The guy in the middle lived.
Yep. Let's see. Craig Scott, which was the guy who lived, was uninjured. He laid in his friend's spilling blood, pretending to be dead.
That's about all you can do, really.
At that point, Eric threw a CO2 cartridge, homemade explosive called a cricket, under a table where a couple other kids were at. One kid was frozen in fear, too afraid to be moving, and landed on his leg. Well, the kid who was with him was thinking, grabbed it, and fucking threw it away.
It blew up?
It blew up in the air.
Oh, man, fuck.
Yeah. Let's see.
That's quick thinking.
11:34 a.m., the shooters moved to the center of the library where they reloaded their weapons at a midway table across the room. Eric then caught the sight of a student hiding under a nearby table and recognized him, told him to identify himself. With Dylan aiming a gun at his head, John Savage identified himself. He was an acquaintance of Dylan's. He asked Dylan what he was doing, which Klebold replied casually, "Oh, just killing people." John asked if they're going to kill him too, and Dylan told him to get out of the library. John left immediately, escaping through the library's main entrance. So they didn't want to kill everybody.
The front door. Well, no, and he let it right when they pulled up outside.
Oh yeah, his buddy Brown, Brown.
The dude was like, "What's going on there?" And he's like, "Look, man, I like you today." He's like, "Go home. You don't want to be here."
Well, because he had missed a test. Because he skipped his
third
he had
period.
Bowling first period in the morning. They skipped, which is weird. The teacher said that was weird. Third period, I think, was a psychology class that they skipped and missed a test. And the kid was going outside to have a smoke, right, in between classes or whatever, and saw Eric coming in. And he had said something. I was like, "Hey, you missed the test." And he replies back to him, "It doesn't even matter anymore. I like you. Get out of here."
Wow. So they did spare.
He laughingly said that, by the way. It doesn't matter anymore.
Whenever the shooting started.
These guys had to be high, man. I don't know what
they
they're
were
on, but they were.
I don't know about that.
Whenever the shooting started, though, his friend, what was Brown, was right? What's his name?
Yeah, hold on, let me look it up here.
His friend, the one that he had just saw right when they pulled up, that kid immediately
Brooks Brown
immediately ran to somebody's homes, called 911. I know who it is. They're shooting at the school. I know who's involved, and so I mean, he immediately fucking knew as soon as he heard the gunshots.
Let's see.
That's pretty perceptive.
At 11:35 a.m., Eric turned and fired on the table directly north of where they'd been, shooting Daniel Mauser in the face. That's the kid. They shot him in the hand first, so this is kind of missing out on a little bit of that whole story. They moved to another table where Jennifer Doyle, Stephen Eubanks, and Corey DePuter were hiding. Both gunmen opened fire on the kids hiding there. Corey was killed. Jennifer and Austin were just injured. They headed towards the administration desk and threw a Molotov cocktail down the southeast.
I heard that one
library,
didn't explode, though.
but it didn't explode.
Yeah.
Eric came around the east side of the counter, and Dylan joined him from the west. They both converged near where Evan Todd had moved after being injured. Dylan made fun of him, discussed killing him, but didn't. Eric then suggested they go down to the school's common area. Before leaving, Dylan fired a shot into the library staff break room, hitting a television. He then slammed a chair down on top of the computer terminal that was on the library counter, beneath which Patty Nelson was hiding. Ooh, I bet she was shitting herself.
Fuck yeah.
She had that phone she had used to call 911 open the whole time after she had called 911. So she's hiding, and 911 could hear the entire fucking thing going down. You can hear that tape. So that's available out there.
They said you could hear it. They could hear them come into there and say, everybody stand up. Like, you know what I mean? Like you could literally hear them say that.
And she didn't, I guess.
Well, no.
She stayed under the table?
Apparently so. She's still alive.
Well, it seems like it wasn't completely indiscriminate, though. They did say, if you were their buddy or
that's the thing.
they perceived to be your buddy, you might actually make it.
That's the thing, too. It is a little bit about fame. I think they were mostly just full of shit.
Yeah, they're definitely full of shit, but that's what they want. They wanted fame more than anything. It wasn't about a cause. It wasn't because they were bullied. It wasn't to do it because they hate black people or they hate Jews or they want to be this or that. It was the fame, and then they're full of shit. Yeah, they're medically what do you call it? Like they had so much prescription drugs. The one kid was on Ritalin for like 9 years.
That's
something.
the thing about these two guys. They couldn't have been more different than each other, really. Eric Harris, psychopath. He was the type of kid that would tell you whatever you wanted to hear, be real nice, Eddie Haskell-ish to your face. But on the other end, he seethingly hated people.
He used to brag to people privately that he could make anyone believe anything. The guy was just a master, tried to be a master manipulator.
Well, he's the guy that talked this other guy into doing it, right?
Exactly.
Well, he was kind of like a shadow. And Dylan Klebold, he had real depression issues. Didn't think he was good enough. Didn't think he was ever going to go anywhere in life. Had it with the system, done being bullied. And saw in Eric Harris...
His out.
Not his out so much, but he's almost starstruck in my opinion.
His
You know what I
hero.
mean?
Think so?
I think so.
I think he knew what he was doing the entire time. They both did, as far as like, we hate black people and this, and it's like, no, you don't. No, you don't. You're doing this because
I think they
you're an
did,
idiot.
but I think they did that because they thought it was cool.
Exactly.
The American History X, like you said, the American History X, that's a fucking romantic, I want to be, the badass white guy.
They're idiots.
11:38, they threw several more pipe downs down the cafeteria below. They threw an explosive into a storage room, passing when nobody was in it. A teacher saw the gunman at 11:40 in the science hallway in front of the chemical storage room, just east of the science room. Several students saw Eric and Dylan shooting in empty rooms after they taped a Molotov cocktail to the storage room door, and they were just trying some shit out. It caused a small fire in the storage room where it went off. Teacher put the fire out a short while later, once the gunman had left. At 11:44, Eric stopped on the stairs and knelt down to fire several shots with his carbine at a duffel bag containing one of the 20-pound propane bombs, which, if you know anything about propane tanks, you can't just usually shoot them to make them explode. Despite the room being littered with hundreds of backpacks and bags, he knew exactly which one to shoot at. It didn't work. Dylan walked over to the same bomb after Eric's failed attempts attempted to detonate and tampered with something on the floor, but again, nothing happened. A witness hiding in the cafeteria heard one of the gunmen say, "Today, the world's going to come to an end. Today's the day we die." That seems kind of fantastic there. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. Like
I don't know they actually said that. It's hard to believe anybody would say that. And if they did say that, right there, again, goes to the whole fact that they're full of fucking shit. You don't say shit like that whenever you're, you know what I mean? That's it's dramatic. It's super dramatic. That's from a movie. You don't say that type of shit unless you've watched movies over and over to make you think, oh, I got to have my John Wayne moment. You know what I mean? You got to have the line. That's the line.
I don't know. This whole thing seems kind of operatic to me, though.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys, just to do what they did, I mean, this was, to them, I think this was
and I think our piece of
something
shit,
noble. I don't know, or some kind of oddly, it was dramatic.
I think our piece of shit government took every advantage of it they could to, blaming it on like video games, violent video games and music.
Well, I think we get to that after all this. I'd like to discuss.
Oh yeah, it was a whole Marilyn Manson thing. Yeah. But let's see, 11:49, they head to the main office area where an unarmed security guard and secretary were hiding. On lengthy calls to 911. Outside, the SWAT team has arrived on the east side of Columbine. 3 minutes later, sheriff arrived at the command post that the police had set up and authorized the SWAT team to enter the school. At 11:53, Eric and Dylan moved from the offices to the art hall, firing their weapons in the ceiling as they went. They went back down to the cafeteria again at 11:56 a.m., looking defeated in posture on the security tapes. Objection. Opinion. The bombs hadn't exploded and the sprinkler system had put out the fire they'd managed to start. At that time, the first reports of 2 gunmen at Columbine High School were beginning to air on television. The shooters went into the kitchen very briefly, then headed back upstairs once more at 12 p.m. precisely. Outside, an armored vehicle arrived because the area was deemed unsafe for medical. Uninterrupted broadcasts on television were now airing on television stations nationwide, stunning the people of the U.S. From 12:02 to 12:05, the gunmen were back in the library, firing out the broken west windows at the emergency workers and law enforcement who were trying to get people to safety and assist the wounded who were able to get out of the school. So earlier on, before they come into the school, they'd shot a couple people outside, right? And one of the people they didn't kill, they'd shot him and actually, they paralyzed him. He had been laying in the door to the outside into the cafeteria. He was one of the kids that rubbed blood on his face, to try to make it seem like he was dead. Well, he had caught the notice of a paramedics guy who was in the area, and they went over to grab him. They fucking basically said they just grabbed him up by his belt and his fucking shirt and drug him out of it. Well, they started raining down shots on him right then. That's pretty crazy when you're trying to go after the medics.
He said they tried to kill me again, is what he said. He said they tried to kill me the once, they shot me, thought I was dead, then they tried to kill me again. They were shooting at me. He said he could see the concrete like on the sidewalk.
Him or the guys that were dragging him?
The guy who was getting dragged was the one that said they tried to kill me again.
Right.
Yeah,
which was Sean Graves.
He could see the fucking sidewalk just, he's just being drugged, watching the fucking sidewalk, just bullets hit next to him. It's fucking nuts, man.
Pretty crazy. At 12:04, they were able to rescue Sean Graves from where he laid outside. He eventually needs a wheelchair. Smoke alarm went off at 12:08. By this time, they've already actually killed themselves where the shooters' bodies were later found. A small Molotov cocktail was placed on a nearby table near one of the gunmen. They lit the fuse of the thing that was hot enough to break the glass of the bottle, allowing the flammable liquid inside the spell to make a small fire that set up an alarm and didn't cause an explosion. So yeah, at some point in that time, right after they had rained down fire on the paramedics, they committed suicide.
They don't know what gunshots and when exactly it was in like a 2 or 3 minute period. They can't nail it down.
Eric is still really, really wondering about
if they shot each other.
The death pact.
Well, yeah, had they shot each other or shot themselves? I really don't think it matters though. What is that?
I don't know, man, but I just feel like
it seems like it'd be just too hard to coordinate. They have to be immediate.
One,
yeah, right.
Yeah, but listen, stop right now. You guys are thinking about it. Okay. Now, if you're in the heat of the moment, you just done all this and killed all these fucking people, and you're like, yeah, fuck, man, we're going down. What do you say? Let's do it. I mean, come on. What else?
That's the thing. None of this was the heat of the moment, really. They had planned the whole time. They knew they were going to die. So it's not like, hey, what do you think? I mean, they had him. They knew they were going to die.
Who went first,
I don't know. Same timesies. 1, 2, 3, ba-bang.
Well, maybe one of them shot the other and then shot himself.
Well, Robert said earlier that would have been a murder-suicide, though, right?
Not that they could have.
Technically, yes.
Well, they could have known that because they would have had the same bullet in each head or whatever whenever they found the
they would have
bodies.
known who shot who.
Whom?
Shotguns? What weapon was used,
Beats the shit out of me. But that's the basic timeline, though, of how it went down. Pretty nuts. I want to go over real quick this website I found that's supposedly the Trenchcoat Mafia webpage that was built by Eric Harris. It starts out with a little intro. It says, "Hello and Heil Hitler." Okay, this is going to be kind of racist. I'm gonna read this as is written.
All right.
This is not my or Lina Media or anybody else's views, and these words I'm getting ready to use are not funny. They're just. And Armand, don't you laugh at this. I know you're going to laugh.
Can I hit the button?
No. Okay. No, you can't hit the laugh button. So that being said, here we go. Hello and Heil Hitler. My name is Eric, and this is my webpage.
Not me.
I hate jocks, Jews, and jigaboos. This reads exactly like Seth, or not Seth, in American History X, where he gets him on camera. Seth gets Edward Furlong on cameras. Tell me what you hate. What's wrong with this country, or something. And he gives that whole little diatribe about how it's cool to be black and whatnot. You know what I mean? I hate how it's cool to be black these days.
Yeah.
So it's the same type of talk as what he gives right there. He says, I hate jocks, Jews, and jigaboos. I loathe wops, spics, and blood-engorged ticks. On particularly bad days, I kick dogs and shoot cats. But rest assured, I'm badder than all that. I'm building a series of explosives to take down my school on Hitler's birthday. It seems a fitting tribute to this glorious man who did so much for white culture. Here are the basic rules of the trench coat mafia. Rule 1, Hitler is cool. Jocks suck, and football sucks too.
So you can totally tell this was a 90s high school student.
I thought these guys weren't in this group, though.
No, this was their group. The
Okay.
Trench Coat Mafia. I
Yeah,
tried
I
to
thought
tell
they
Everett
weren't in
that
the
earlier.
trench.
He didn't
Afterwards,
believe
they say they're not, but this is his webpage.
All right.
Either which way. Negroes need to be put down. Negroes need to put down their 40s and head back to Africa. School sucks and should be bombed.
Okay, well, he's got a point there.
No, he doesn't. Teachers
Not
are
about the bombing, but
the school sucks.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
I can go with that.
We got to learn on the internet.
Teachers-
Homeschool.
Teachers are the real death camp guards.
The
Holocaust never happened. The Holocaust never happened, but it would have been cool if it had.
Gee.
The big secret is that cheerleaders have more problems with gas than average Americans. I don't really
That's
get
an
that.
interesting theory.
Like a
I think we-
hot air type of thing, or
Flatulence.
Flatulence.
That's
then.
what I said. Everybody's like,
I would think.
You
I
can't be
mean,
talking
this
about
thing's being a
farts.
joke.
I'm like,
it doesn't make sense. Like, where is that coming out of left field?
because girls don't fart. You never heard that
What part of
expression?
this scree does make sense?
Fair enough. Doom is a fun game, which it was.
Agreed.
German industrial
Oh, is
music.
that a real game?
Yeah, Doom is one of the-
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Not one of the first-person shooters.
Oh,
not the
okay.
original. German industrial music is better than all other music.
I don't know about
Like
that.
techno,
I
not even close.
prefer Beethoven. All right.
Well, that's another German for you, but it's Austrian.
No, he's German. He was born in Bonn.
If something explodes, it's cooler than if it doesn't.
And that's
Wow.
not wrong either.
Pretty profound.
He's got a couple pictures of some goth girls
Who is
labeled.
this? Is this Klebold or Harris?
This is Harris,
Okay.
supposedly. He's got instructions on how to build a pipe bomb. These are the dumbest instructions you'll ever hear.
Don't ever build a pipe bomb like this. Go ahead and give it to him because this is
You
not
can't
gonna,
build a.
You blow yourself up,
not
or it
gonna
just
work.
won't work at all.
It
Okay.
doesn't give you enough info how to do it.
Okay.
Get a metal pipe. Seal one end up with epoxy resin.
Oh, yeah.
Pack it with explosives and nails. Okay, what kind of explosives?
Doesn't matter.
Put in a fuse. Seal the other end with epoxy, leaving a millimeter of space around the fuse. Put it somewhere where there are, again, this isn't me, jocks, Jews, or jigaboos, and light the fuse. Step 7, run away.
Well, I could tell you how to build an atom bomb if you're going to, that.
If that's all the granular we're getting,
Yeah. Get 20 kilograms of uranium.
And
Go
then,
on.
Well, take a chunk of it out.
and then,
Put it on the other end of a explosive
We'll
device.
just say a real big pendulum.
Fire the chunk that's out into the and so you get critical mass.
That was the
and
second
it'll blow
one.
up.
That was Little Boy.
Right.
Yeah.
The other one was like
bomb.
get a bunch of mirrors.
Well, that
and
was
you blow
the
up a bunch
compression
of-
bomb.
Yeah, you blow up a bunch of TNT and smash the plutonium so it
Critical
undergoes.
mass. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait,
so
wait,
it
wait,
undergoes
wait.
a fission.
the two bombs were the different methods of.
Correct.
I didn't know that
yeah.
until just now.
On the two bombs they use in
Yeah.
Japan.
I know they were different methods.
Yeah.
Yeah, the uranium one was where they had a chunk of uranium which was subcritical mass, and they had another chunk of uranium which was subcritical mass, and they fired them together.
Like a
shot 'em-
shotgun.
Yeah.
Blew it together like shot a bullet of it into the other one.
Right. And
To create like density of mass to start the chain reaction of the
yeah,
neutrons.
then it blew up. The other
That's
one,
pretty fucking smart, I guess.
yeah, that wouldn't work with plutonium though. So what they had to do was they actually had to squeeze it like you squeeze a balloon.
They use C4 around it on every direction and
Yeah.
and blue using photo cells
Simultaneous.
They used lenses.
exposes all off at the same time and use that pressure of that explosion to collapse the pressure on that plutonium.
Well, that's fucking genius too.
But the real trick was getting it to be. It had to be exactly.
1,800 feet off the ground, right?
no.
2,000 feet
It's
off
the
the ground.
timing is
Yeah,
the trick.
it had to be exactly right, or you're gonna. If you don't squeeze it just right, it's gonna pop out.
one side or the other, right?
Yeah, so it had to be instantaneously. That was the problem.
Aaron Eckhart core speech, firing within a millisecond.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
But way closer. It's nanoseconds.
Yeah, it had to be virtually exactly the same time. That's what took so long to do. And John von Neumann came up with using lenses. He used some kind of, whatever. The guy's a genius. He's one of the Martians, by the way. Those Hungarian guys that were so smart, they think they're Martians. We got to do a show on them.
We ought to. I need more info on that. Sounds
Yeah, the
interesting.
Martians.
Here's another little instructional thing. How to poison someone whom you hate. One.
This is still the website here?
Yeah, this
Oh,
is.
boy.
I'm going to do a whole bunch of stuff from this
Jesus
fucking
Christ.
crazy website. Number 1, buy some rat poison. Seems plenty easy.
Okay.
Slit open a hot dog and put poison inside hot dog. Use a tofu pup if the intended victim is a vegetarian. So they got that covered.
Yeah.
Give a hot dog to person you hate and make them eat it.
Here's the important part.
Gentle persuasion is best, not strong arm tactics. If, for example, good. Eat this hot dog. It's good for you and surely tasty as well. Bad way. Eat this hot dog because I want you to die, motherfucker. So
Yeah,
it gives
that-
you examples
so
about
that-
how you should
So
go.
you
about
don't
it.
Carrot
say-
and the stick
But see,
kinda
there's a
thing.
flaw in that though. Like, because you're basing that off, and somebody's gonna eat a hot dog. Like, maybe the guy doesn't like hot dogs, or maybe the chick doesn't want a fucking hot dog. She's on a diet. What are you gonna do then?
Then you say, eat this fucking hot dog because I want you to die, motherfucker. See if that plan B works.
Surely not gonna eat it then.
Probably not.
I'd put a piece of cake or something, wouldn't you?
I mean,
That would work for me.
cake would work. Yeah,
Tortilla
I'd eat the
chip or
cake.
something.
Here's a little entry on like a little blog post or something on this website. This is pre-blogs, but I'm sad to report that the Marines have rejected me as a recruit. I told them I wasn't taking any medication, even though I've been on Ritalin and contentamine,
The hell is that?
extra strength for the past
Well,
2
I know
years.
contentamine implies some kind of antidepressant. Content.
So it looks like I'm going to have to wage my own war if I want to taste the blood and dirt of the battlefield. But that's okay. We of the trench coat mafia still march around military style in our trench coats, especially in the school hallways, honing and developing our master plan. We will conquer the entire world once we get a few things straight and make our bombs. So if you're not a jock, Jew or jigaboo, not a wop, spick or country hick, not a Jap, slant or my old gypsy aunt and want to get with the program, post in my non-Jew, whites-only Hitler Memorial Forum. Or
How about Catholics?
alternatively, as a concession to those not comprising the master race, here is my new colored forum. So he's got you covered on both. If you're one of the good ones, we got you here. If you're of color, we still.
He used comprised improperly. That's not the right way to use that word.
Well,
Compose, not comprised.
He's in high school.
maybe if
so.
you would have told him that, could have stopped this whole thing.
Yeah.
No,
Obviously, the man's.
Armand would have been shot.
Yeah, he would have blown my face off for sure. But that was a solecism.
Here's some more diatribe. Littleton, Colorado isn't a great place to grow up as a white boy. If I had had my druthers, I'd be anywhere else at all, even in some place with lots of malt liquor drinking, rhyme busting, ass capping Negroes, and perhaps a few squinty-eyed, dog-eating Chinese people. Crikey.
Just racist as fuck, the guy is.
But again, I think he's doing this for the humor of it.
Well, yeah. So
He thinks it's
looks
funny.
Cool. He thinks it looks cool.
Right.
I didn't even know that this was 99.
99, yeah.
Was anybody on that? Were you on the internet in 99?
I was, yeah.
Really?
I had written my first
I didn't know
webpage
what the
in
hell it was.
96,
School.
97?
All right, I'm 20 years behind.
At least. Here in Littleton, there's just no place to hang out, only endless subdivisions all the way to the foot of the Rockies. Nobody thought to leave room for parks, youth centers, or places for me to test my explosives. This might seem kind of gay, but I'd like to live in a place with a little sense of history or the importance of the natural world. Much like Hitler, I'm a goth, see? I want old cemeteries and gnarly trees, not the contender for biggest indoor mall in the mountain time zone. In Littleton, wherever it's not strip development, it's all cookie-cutter mansion housing on undersized lots. There's not a whole lot to do. So when I'm not out bowling with my friends or playing endless hours of Doom, I pretty much keep to my daddy's garage night and day making pipe bombs with my daddy's tools. My daddy is helpful, even if he doesn't agree with my ideology. I will say this, his bombs blow up much more reliably than mine do.
What happened to him?
I would say he got sued.
I would say that, but I honestly don't believe the dad helped. I think that was, fuck you, Dad. You're getting implicated in my crime spree.
Eric Harris is that type of motherfucker to do that too.
I
what
agree.
a cocksucker.
I agree exactly. I'll take whoever I can down, even if
I'd like
it's
to have a son like this guy.
Well, you fucking.
I wouldn't.
You beat him hard.
He says this is just child's play, of course, but it's part of our preparation for the big assault that is coming, Hitler be willing. Our master plan is to kill at least 500 people at our high school, besiege the local neighborhood, seize the airport, and then crash a plane full of jocks and cheerleaders into the Pentagon.
All right, now nobody said anything about this.
Repeat that last part for me there, Everett.
Seize the airport and then crash a plane full of jocks and cheerleaders
Where?
into the Pentagon.
Crash a plane into the fucking Pentagon.
Guy was ahead of his time, wasn't he?
Sure was. About 2 years ahead of his time.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, nobody saw this and said anything about. I mean, this is.
These were their journals,
Again, this
Armand.
is
I
early
was on the internet.
Well, this
But it
is
is
early
now.
internet.
Yeah, but somebody.
There was no Google unless he told somebody about this website and how to get there. It didn't exist. You know what I mean? It's just out there on the internet. Let me ask you this. Eric's got a blog. Find it without Google.
Without
I can't
Google.
even find Eric without Google.
There you go.
I don't know where he is.
So what I'm saying is, if this
I don't
was,
think you can find me with Google.
this would be really hard unless somebody straight narked him out. I know of Eric's site. Here's what he's got on there. Check it out.
So this is like our site. What's it called?
I don't know what you're talking about.
No.
Not like what is it?
No.
What do you
I
guys
don't even know
got?
our site.
You guys got a site?
No.
We got a
He's
site.
talking about.
One of your Facebook groups?
No, he doesn't.
Oh.
Discord. I can't say that.
Discord.
Oh. That's not what I thought he was talking about.
Hey, why don't you just keep it down over there then? Because there's other shit people don't need to know about. You're over there. Hitting
I don't know about it.
You know about
I
it.
know about Discord.
Yeah, it's Discord. Join our Discord, by the way. It's Surreal Talk
Discord.
Podcast.
Yeah, it's getting pretty crazy on Discord these days.
It's fucking madness with you people.
Discord.
SurrealTalkPodcast.com/Discord. That's DISCORD. What Discord is, it's like just basically a chat program and server. You get on, you can talk with us. We're on it all day long. I haven't had as much time lately to be on there as I'd like to. There's a lot of fucking wackiness on there that's kind of putting me off for right now.
What are you talking about?
I don't know, man. It gets you guys get a little bit crazy. I had to create a no holds barred fucking forum because you guys are getting way too nuts in the general area.
Yeah, the pegging thing really took off. So
It gets crazy on there. Let's just say it gets crazy enough where I kind of step back from it.
if you're into weird shit, get on our Discord.
We're all a family. Come on.
That's even worse, Armand.
Be a part of the family.
It's incestual at
It's
this point.
incestuous. Incestuous.
I want to read a couple more things here. By nature, I'm fairly depressed most of the time.
Oh, God.
It pretty much goes with the territory when you're a middle American suburban goth with a penchant for computer gaming and bomb making. As I've already said, I'm on medication, but the regular FDA-approved stuff doesn't quite cut it. So I'm into illegal drugs when I can get them. But when I can't, it's time to take over-the-counter medication to excess. It's the as-directed part that makes conventional OTCs lame. My recent OTC of choice is cough syrup. I highly recommend it.
Sniffing airplane glue.
It's the best. I picked a hell of a day to stop sniffing glue. It's the best thing after a hard day of being called gay by a schoolyard full of fashionable jocks and cheerleaders. So, cough syrup, everybody. Highly recommend.
All right. Well, I'm going to have a comment about this. And this is, now this is 20 years ago, of course, but 21 years ago. But I don't think that's gotten any better. I think,
The cough syrup?
no, the kids that are that are depressed, and not necessarily murderous. But,
No, man.
they're so depressed. They're all on medication.
It's just been
getting
going
worse
on
and
since
worse.
the beginning of the time, except now kids.
No, not when I was in school. Nobody was taking antidepressants that I know of.
Well, they didn't really exist in the way they did. My point is there was always
Sure,
kids that
we
were
had
depressed.
Diazepam. Their Valium.
My point is there's always kids that are depressed.
No, not like now.
I disagree.
Come on.
There's a
All right, gang.
Well, I'll
What
say
do you guys
this.
say?
What the difference is it's hard to have people reinforce you like you can today. These days you can get reinforced people. You can get on the internet and have a dozen people, 100 people tell you where you're right, life sucks. It's a reinforcement society, in my opinion, these days.
Perhaps, but I think the angst itself is.
I think it's new.
Wait, so you
Yeah,
don't
I
think,
do.
As,
I do.
As much as you
we
call
never thought
people-
about that stuff.
Hang on now. As much as you call people snowflakes, you're just saying that they're not snowflakes, that they're actually people
That
are
is
more
part
depressed.
of snowflakery.
But people are just more depressed now.
Yeah.
Oh.
I really do. When I was in school, everybody was wondering, high school anyway, is like, what am I going to do when I graduate? Am I going to graduate? Then I'm going to get a job? Am I going to college? I don't remember people talking, around about how horrible
This
everything
was 60 years ago,
Yeah. Well, this is during the Depression.
before the pyramids.
Wrecked.
What did the
So we
Pharaoh have to
we
say
all
about
got
this?
together and built the Sphinx,
We got wrecked. The sphincter, maybe. That's what. If you would have built it, it would have been called the sphincter, Armand. Let's be serious.
Here's another one. He says, I'm extremely upset about the execution
I'd
of
use you
Timothy
to do the
McVeigh.
welding. All right, what?
I am extremely upset about the execution of Timothy McVeigh. I don't care when anyone says that guy really knew how to blow things up.
Well, he's got a point there.
that doesn't
I'll give
excuse
that,
him from
yeah,
execution.
Yeah, right. You blow people up, you get executed. So
It's a shame I will never be able to learn at the feet of this true master. This hero to all things that go boom. My hacker friend, spelled H4X0R, it's internet leet speak. Means his hacker buddies.
Yeah, but nowadays that's like.
Yeah, it's very dumb. Even back then, it was really dumb.
You don't get the.
The SpongeBob meme. Yeah, we get
Come on,
it.
Armand.
We get it.
oh, damn! I hit the wrong button again.
It's fine. We're
I'll get it.
No, you won't.
Just be patient.
You want me back in that seat for at least 3 weeks?
I can't get the right.
We're gonna cycle.
All right.
So in the spirit of wait a minute. My hacker friends were able to recently obtain a video of the execution, which I've heard is illegal to watch.
What McVeigh's execution?
What's the big deal there? It's just he fucking gets injected and dies.
Yeah, they're no fun. The guillotine would be pretty cool.
When was the last time the U.S. did a guillotine? I don't think
Never.
ever.
The French. I think was like 19. It was the 30s. I think
It was,
It was pretty.
It might have been more recent than that.
The guillotine was.
We bought 30,000 of them. The United States government.
It's actually a very the guy who invented it. It's very actually.
It's a reliable execution method.
Reliable and what he would consider
Foolproof.
merciful. It's quick. He thought it was a very good way to kill somebody, as
they say
opposed to what
Nobody's doubting the effectiveness.
Yeah,
it works.
but
100% of the time.
Yeah, like Mary Queen of Scots, it took a couple of shots to cut her head off.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
and Thomas
sharpen the
More too. I
blade.
think. Yeah, they didn't.
Gotta make sure
That's
the
why.
blade's sharp.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Barber.
that was pretty. That was pretty common where the guy would fuck up and they'd have to do it 3 or 4 times.
Armand, by the way, Dean in the chat wants me to remind you, you suck in Team Eric. Nice.
Well, I think
Go
we
ahead,
got, I
continue
think,
on, Everett.
Well, if you want to hear somebody really excoriate me, stick around for the after show. I think we got.
Oh, there's a good video.
yeah,
or a
we
good
got somebody
voicemail.
really
You haven't
lets
heard
me have it.
Yeah. Not really lets him have it.
Oh,
It's
oh,
good.
yeah.
Is
It's
it
okay.
good?
Oh, yeah.
All right,
It's only
all
good to
right.
him because he doesn't hear a lot of them. I'd say it's kind of tame compared to some of the ones I've heard for me, towards
Oh,
me.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, everybody hates you.
Yeah.
I'm not used to it.
So he goes on. So in the spirit of Saint Timothy McVeigh, watch the video is yet another way to tell the government where to go. Sorry if I'm rambling, but I have a lot to say and not very much time to say it. Heil Hitler. That's the last, or the.
I don't know. I'm surprised he's only a Hitler guy, though. I mean, you might as well go for Stalin and Mao.
He's probably
and,
not even a Hitler guy.
Yeah,
Real-time audible. We may just do Columbine Effect and Aftermath. No, second show?
No, that's a social show.
3 DLs this week?
Eh.
That's not social show. It's the after effects of what happened.
Fine, we'll do whatever you want to do.
No, we don't have to do that.
He's got a couple of links on his site. Why skinheads suck, which I find to be kind of weird.
Oh, he's got a problem with skinheads now?
Apparently so. Well, they had a problem with skinheads in American History X again.
Yeah, they didn't like them.
Low rent, you know what I mean?
Unorganized.
They make fun of them, yeah.
Oh.
He's also got the links to GodHatesFags.com, which is the Westboro Baptist Church.
I found that pretty, like, before I hated them, this guy's linking them on the internet. Like,
Well, he puts with that link, you have to respect the refreshing intolerance of these religious kooks.
That's
refreshing.
yeah, that's pretty good,
intolerance.
actually. That's a well-turned phrase, I must
Yeah.
admit. For a psychopath, he makes good sense.
Yeah. There's a
Say
whole
that
bunch.
again?
You have to respect the
Refreshing intolerance of these religious kooks.
refreshing. The fact that he finds intolerance refreshing.
Yeah, religious.
Wow. I mean, nail on the head. He's not fucking wrong about the
Yeah,
religious kooks
he's
part.
very effusive with his hatred, I have to admit.
He's got this long poem here, too.
Oh,
That's it's
geez.
partially ganked from, like, song lyrics, but he did it himself. Let me give you the first little bit of it. You'll see what kind of shit this guy's in.
The guy's Walt Whitman, too, huh?
What I don't see, I don't know. What I don't know, I don't want. What I don't want, I don't need. What I don't need, I don't feel. What I don't feel, I don't say. What I don't say, I don't do. What I don't do, I don't like. And what I don't like, I waste.
That's a poem?
It goes on.
Sounds
There's
like
many
a
other stanzas.
Credo.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
I thought it was
If
a
this
peace
kid's-
is a lie. There is only passion. Through passion, I gain
That's the
strength.
Sith one, man.
Oh,
now you're telling me though. Okay, let's say that nobody sees this on the internet, but you're telling me nobody notices that this kid's disturbed. I mean, he's walking around. I mean, he's totally normal at school and everything else, and nobody realizes this guy's might have a little problem.
I think a lot of people probably did, but not. Again, there had been no giant school shootings. The precedent had not been set for this type of shit.
I know, but I mean, nobody recommended he
weird
have
kid.
psychiatric evaluation.
I'm
not
sure
saying
they
you want to
did.
kill him, but
I'm
like,
sure they
it
did.
was a different time, Armand. They weren't. It was like you could. People didn't really go off like that.
I would say it was a different time that it would probably be more likely because now what they're worried about, of course, is that God forbid you say somebody's crazy, because you'll get sued or whatever. That's what a lot of people are worried about. Like the guy that killed all the people, the actual psychiatrist at Fort Hood. I mean, he was sending out things, Allah is great, death to America. What he's got on his card.
Yeah.
And nobody said anything because they were worried about, his commanding officers were worried that they would get in trouble. You can't say nowadays, you can't say anything about anybody. But at that time, you probably could say, listen, this kid's a little fucked. Somebody ought to talk to him.
Yeah. No shit. He's got some issues, man.
Yeah.
His issues got issues.
No, I'm
in
not
fact.
saying, it wouldn't jump to the conclusion he's going to, make pipe bombs and guns and kill people. Although,
would.
maybe.
Fuck
I'm
it.
just saying there's got to be indications. If he's putting stuff like this on the internet, I'm sure he's walking around.
telling people shit like this.
Yeah.
Writing it down. He had the videos where, so like the two guys, because,
And then-
these guys were 17 and 18 years old. They couldn't buy these guns legally.
Well, I have another question, though. What's this brigade of his called?
Trench
The
coat
trench
mafia.
coat
Okay, are these the
mafia.
only two guys in it? Or are there
No.
other? Okay, so
They
they're
claim there's up to 20 people.
okay.
But
so-
after the shooting, the trench coat mafia was kind of like, yeah, they're not part of us.
well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, they just shot up a fucking school, where
And didn't ask any of you guys to do it with them. Or maybe they did.
Well, let me put it this way. I mean, I remember, I'm not going to mention any names, but when I was a kid, there were certain Armenians that were talking about, when a Turkish school bus blew up, they loved it. They were like, yeah, all right. Now, right, that's kind of sick.
We work with that
but-
guy.
I'm not
We
mentioning.
do.
I don't want to mention any names. But anyway,
Jesus.
if I heard that guy, he's like, listen, I got some fertilizer in a truck, and I'm going to park it outside the Turkish embassy. I probably would have said something to somebody, or if I saw he was writing stuff like this. I'm saying for his own good, somebody better put this guy in get a butterfly net and put this guy away.
In 99, I worked with a guy at a computer store I worked at. He was an ex-military guy. He was a soldier. He did 2 tours over in the Gulf. And he was actually stockpiling weapons under his house in a crawl space. He used to sell this guy weed way, way, way back when.
Oh, wonderful.
And he had claimed, no, I'm stockpiling these up to take out a government building. He used to say that all the time. I'm taking out a government building. It's only a matter of time.
Well,
He never did.
how's he doing today?
I haven't talked to him in almost as many years. He was I really liked him. He was a real nice guy. But he was just, he was so serious about it too.
Well,
Like
that's what
real
I'm saying.
dry humor.
He gave you a pass,
So-
though.
I know
think he
99% of these guys are probably full of shit. But,
Well, yeah.
but I still think it's, I mean, that's what I'm trying to, I guess my point of this whole show, I guess, to make this worthwhile is what do we do about this?
Well, there ain't shit we can do about it because
Well-
people are going to be crazy. And you
there's
can't
gotta be
stop them before
something.
they do something. You can't read people's minds. This isn't Minority. Or wasn't that the name of that movie?
Minority Report.
Is that the one where they see into the future?
Yeah, that's it. I think it is, yeah.
Hold on.
Because of this, though, there
Yeah, that's it. The one with Tom Cruise, right?
something that was called
It's a
the
Philip K. Dick short story.
yeah, I don't know, the Columbine effect. Have you ever heard of that, Armand?
Yeah, Minority Report.
You'll have to
It's
amplify.
so it's just the effect that people
excuse me, gang.
copycatting this
Yeah.
incident. And
Well, they want to top it, I think. Isn't that the problem? You know,
Yeah.
they want more and more.
So
Like I know the kid from Virginia Tech wanted to set the record.
Well, it extended to like schools also and police. So the massacre had such an adverse effect on authority figures that they would often punish too harshly for menial crimes. Shortly after the massacre took place, there are tons of stories of harsh consequences on grade school kids being expelled for having nail clippers in their backpacks, etc., and other small and previously not punishable offenses were now getting kids suspended and expelled. So,
Yeah.
like, you know, the teachers, the administrations, they didn't want to take any fucking chance with this shit. You know, like, it changed the way people thought about things in this country.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, people would, like, after that, it was like, now everybody, they were just on their guard. You know what I mean? Like, fuck
Well,
that.
it's
little
similar to
kid-
how after 9/11, you can't have more than 3 ounces of a liquid.
Yeah.
In some cases, there
Or
may
now
have
you
been
got
a
to take
little bit of a.
or you got to take your shoes off. That was all because of that shoe bomber. That one guy that was, flying from Detroit.
Has there been anybody who's tried to do anything with their shoes?
Hell
since then?
no.
Yeah.
I mean, it's stupid. But I
The
have a
zero
story.
tolerance
The one.
policies. Remember zero tolerance? Like that, all that shit
Yeah.
started from the Columbine shooting.
Well,
It was zero
remember
tolerance
here again.
policy.
I forgot the Massachusetts one.
Sandy Hook.
Sandy Hook. God damn it.
It's on your paper, Armand.
Well, it was all phony.
That's why we give you these papers.
Nick Drago told me it's phony. But I remember a friend of mine, her son, now this is a true story. It was like a week after the Sandy Hook. And of course, everybody's on edge. And this guy he's a young kid, he's like a 30-year-old at the time, he was in mid-20s. Young kid, got stoned, decided he and his buddy would have a little fun, called up a church and said, I'm gonna blow this place up when everybody's in it. I'm gonna set it on fire on his cell phone.
Oh yeah, what a genius there.
Yeah, right.
There's
And
a fucking
the cops caught him,
National Junior Honor
and they were going to
Society.
throw the book at this guy. I mean, they were really going to put him away for a long
Should have
time.
thrown the encyclopedia at him.
Well, I mean, the guy was harmless.
Or a
and
heavy rock.
I mean, but they couldn't take it as a joke, which is what they thought it was.
Right.
But that's, he just did it at the wrong time.
Yeah, for a while, it was impossible to be a goth.
Yeah,
I
they
don't
got.
know if Hitler was a goth.
He wasn't a
Well,
goth.
yeah, I don't know. Hitler wasn't a goth.
No, he was
He was
not.
Austrian.
Right. And even if he was a goth, it's not the same type of goth
He
you're
may have
thinking
even had
there.
some Jew in
Cohen.
him.
So here's has he won any? No. So here's the big question here. Like if they hadn't started this, because they didn't really start it, but they glorified it and made it like front page. The shooting, the whole school shooting fucking phase, phrase. Just
But the interesting, are there any other ones where there were like tandems? Most of these other ones are just single guys, right?
solos.
Yeah.
That's a
Can
good
you think
question.
of any other? I mean, this is.
Like team shooters?
Yeah. I can't think of any other team. Whatever you want
Yeah.
to call
Florida
it.
nightclub was a no. The Pulse
No.
nightclub was no. The kid with the
The Las
South
Vegas guy
Carolina-
was
South-
by himself, right? That
the
wasn't
Charleston,
school.
The Charleston shooter for that church that killed those black people. That kid was by Dylan Roof was by himself.
The guy, what was his name? Ho or whatever. He was a Asian guy, the Virginia Tech guy.
Yeah,
he
yeah,
killed
yeah.
like 21 or something. He was
Yeah. What about the Aurora, Colorado theater shooting?
Single guy.
single.
James,
yeah, the guy that looked like
The fucking orange hair. Or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
There's a ton of them. Yeah,
I
and
can't
you're
think
right.
of-
I've never thought about that before, but there's not a.
So there.
I mean, there probably fucking is, but
But I'm just saying that's weird that if you want to really mirror what these guys are what these guys are doing,
Yeah.
say, hey man, we could kill more than Klebold and Harris. Let's get together and But these are all single killers, right? I think.
Best I can think of, I'm having trouble coming up with anything that isn't either teams, like the 9/11 team, or singles.
But what's your point? That this began all this? Because I think it would have probably...
Yeah, well, had it not happened, had they not glamorized it, glorified it, and brought it to the front line, made it public news.
Well, a lot of kids
would we still have
But did it start...
all of these types of shootings? No, there were few school shootings, but none of them were this was at the time the deadliest in America.
Yeah, but these guys were inspired by the Marat building, so technically that probably started.
This didn't even plan. They didn't even plan on having a shooting, Armand. This wasn't supposed to be a school shooting.
Saying.
Right. So had they not done this,
but had there been no Oklahoma City building,
you can say that as well.
Right.
But I'm just saying
that's probably if you're gonna.
I'm perpetuating the shooting part of it. Had they not started shooting at school, like they didn't plan on doing anyway, had they not went in and opened fire at the fucking school, would we still have all these school shootings that happened? Because that's kind of what made people realize that shit was even.
I'm not sure there were no school shootings.
No, I didn't say there were
this.
no. I never said there were no school shootings.
I'm not sure. I got there had to be something.
I'm saying that they brought it to the front line by having the deadliest attack in America, by the kids that are at home that feel kind of like they do or whatever, or even really do feel that way because they're bullied, are looking at this like, wow, maybe I could do something like that. Like, would this shit have actually happened? You know what I mean?
It's the same thing with any crime. You have your copycats.
I know, it's just something to think about.
Because I would think before this, if you were that fucked up, you just kill yourself. I mean, the idea that you're going to go to school and kill 20 people with you. I think it emboldened a lot of kids. A lot of kids thought they're fucking cool for the shit they pulled off.
Yeah.
And the thing about these two guys, I don't think either one of them would have ever did this alone. I think they kind of fed off of each other. You know what I mean? Coming up with these plans together. Wouldn't it be cool if we did this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And do you think it's possible there was a third person who had helped in the logistics?
No, you're just making shit up.
I'm asking. Do you think it's possible?
Hey,
because there was a person
possible
on the message board who had mentioned something about this going down a few days before.
And do we know that wasn't either Eric?
No, we don't.
Dylan?
I don't think it was, though. I get the feeling it was not either one of them. So.
Well, all right. I'm looking at this though. Who's this? Mark Manus?
Yeah, that's the guy that got the gun for him.
All right. So this guy.
That guy did 6 years.
Yeah. I mean, what is he thinking?
What a fucking idiot, right?
Yeah.
Well, to him, it's more or less the same as the kids hanging outside the 7-Eleven. Hey, man, I give you this money and a couple extra bucks. You buy me a fucking 6-pack of beer.
They bought him
I don't think it
They
is
bought
the
him an
same.
additional 100 rounds the morning of the incident.
I wouldn't equate it to that.
An additional 100 rounds.
Right.
Again, this is a hunting
area.
area.
For them before.
It's Colorado. You mean?
What did they buy?
He bought an additional 100 rounds for them the morning.
And a gun. I'm assuming the gun was not
They had the gun for a while.
Hunting rifle or anything.
They'd had their guns for a while because they had plenty of videos they made of them out in the woods shooting their guns off.
Well, they had the shotgun.
Now the Sandy Hook guy, Lanza, he got his mother's guns, right?
Yeah.
Shot her with a fucking.
Yeah, he was
allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Well, I mean, how about the guy? Was his name Church in 1966? The guy that was shooting at Texas University.
Winston Churchill.
Not
Jason Causey saying Charles Whitman.
Whitman, very good. Charles Whitman, that's right.
Whitmore.
Weird.
Whitman.
You guys would say this at the same time.
Yeah, it was on my birthday. It was August 1st.
I've never seen you and Jason Causey together at the same time.
Holy shit.
Oh, we dock all the time.
Oh.
Is that true, Jason? Let us know. Send us an email or a voicemail.
Hi, Jace.
Good Lord. This took a turn quickly.
All right.
No, but Charles Whitman at the University of Texas. Remember? They were talking about it in Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, he was the guy screaming, "You made me play second base."
No, that was on the movie Parenthood, and that was Kevin Buckman.
That's right.
That
You'd have to have seen it to got
that. Yeah, that eludes me. But
Eric speaks mimetically, only in memes.
Is there anything we can do about this?
Fuck no.
You don't think so?
What do you think that we can do about this? We can't see the
Arm
future.
the teachers, I think.
You think giving teachers?
Yes, absolutely.
How many times do you think it's going to be they're going to shoot a student?
Not very often. Not at all.
It'll happen, but not that often.
How about this? You have the gun in a safe in the classroom. The safe only opens if there's some alarm switched, like a.
I mean, that's a start, but
they can't just get at a gun.
What if we have fucking automated firing turrets in a control room where somebody fucking sits at a thing and shoots people like in the Millennium Falcon?
All right, how about nerve gas? I don't know.
That's my
There's
point.
got to be something you can do.
There's plenty of security measures you can do to stop something that happening at the time. There's no way to stop it from starting.
You can't
Well, look what happened to that church in Texas the other day.
It doesn't have to be guns is the thing. A guy could go in with a knife and stab 60 people before you know what's going on in a school.
I still think you ought to arm your teachers, at least the ones that want to be armed. Not everyone.
Man, you realize how much bullshit those teachers have to go through for the little salary that they get from it?
But they're helpless too.
Right. What I'm saying is, what if it ain't a school shooting one day and a teacher fucking snaps?
And now you've armed teachers.
Now you've armed a teacher that's got issues and
yeah, but if all the other teachers are armed also,
it's not the fucking answer, Armand. It's not the answer.
I don't think it's.
Here's the
I don't
deal,
think
man.
You should dismiss it out.
More
of hand.
guns, not less
Exactly.
guns.
I got the solution to the gun problem in the United States. It's not more guns, man. Or not less guns, man. It's more guns. More guns, and you give them to the right fucking people.
Hey, listen. All I got to do is cite that Texas church last week. What happened?
I don't know. You tell me.
Had not that guy shot the guy? You didn't hear about this?
Maybe.
There was a shooter in the church, an off-duty officer or whatever, a guy
Is it
that had
Texas?
a gun. Yeah, shot him right in the head.
Well, that doesn't surprise me.
He still killed 2 people, but it was 6 seconds, and the guy shot him. And not only that, there were 6 other people in that congregation that had guns, and they all had them pointed at that guy.
So, what do you think's more effective? More guns or taking guns away from everyone?
More guns.
I don't think
because
it
you
has
can't
to
take
be-
away from everyone.
Well, not only that, but I don't think it has to be that just one-sided. It's either everybody's
I know,
got
but that's
guns
what
or
I'm trying to-
nobody's
that's why I
got
said-
guns.
I don't
trying to
think
say
it has
what's
be
more
that
effective.
one-sided.
No, I mean, you ask the teachers who wants
And
to
you
be
could
trained.
take everyone's guns.
If you could, but you can't.
You can.
Well,
You could.
No, you can't.
You could.
No, you can't.
How are you going to do that? I
They'll
wanna
never
hear
get
this.
my guns. They say that now. You know what I mean? A couple people get shot trying to keep their guns.
Wait till the motherfuckers are 50 or 60 and they can't really, there was
Right.
3%ers when they was 35 and could run and shit, and now they're just like,
Hey,
my
I'm
back-
50 or 60. I can still blow your head off.
You were not in Vietnam, Armand. You don't have no cartilage
Yes,
in
I
Let me
your
ask you
head.
was.
this. How many guns do you own?
None.
And
Yeah,
when was
you-
the last time you fired a weapon?
ROTC 30 years ago.
So, okay.
That's the last time you fired a weapon?
40 years ago.
No shit.
Yeah, in college. Yeah, M16.
A4, I guess, eh?
So, yeah, let's give
I was a
Armand,
marksman.
a completely untrained and unpracticed person, more guns. Let's give
More
everybody
guns.
more
That's
guns.
not what I said. You arm your teachers. You give them training. The ones that want it. Not everybody.
I don't
Why
think
do you
that's
dismiss
the answer.
it?
I don't think
It wouldn't
because-
help at all. It wouldn't help at all.
I don't
It
think
wouldn't
it would.
deter somebody. I think it would deter.
Is the
the
juice
act-
worth the squeeze?
Boom.
Is the
That's the
juice
point.
worth the fucking squeeze, Armand? It may help one
So
school
you
in
throw your
America,
hands up and say,
but
"There's
what
nothing
if-
we can do about
No,
this."
that's not.
Okay.
You know, they say
No,
statistically
not
you're
at all.
more likely to be shot with by a gun that's been in your own house than a gun brought into your house.
What's that got to do with this?
That's 100%.
You're more likely, you can take that right into the school park. You're more likely to be shot in school by a gun that was already there than a gun somebody brought in.
What study is this?
Armand,
I've never
I got
heard
the,
that
I got
study.
the answer
Well,
for
trust
you.
me.
I got the answer for you.
Okay.
More regulations, better background checks,
What
and better
regulation?
better testing on who can own a weapon and own a firearm. They need to
That
be
doesn't
tested.
work at all. That doesn't work at all. Like these kids, you think this would have prevented these kids? Are you kidding?
I think you could have done an assessment on either one of these kids.
Here's
if
how
you're
that
a
would've-
trained
would have helped to
psychologist or
prevent them.
psychiatrist and figured this shit
Here's
out.
how that would have helped prevent them. The guy that got them the guns wouldn't have likely have got them the guns.
There it is.
Well, that's what I'm saying. This guy,
Maines or whatever his name was.
he should be investigated.
He did.
This
He
guy's
did 6
nuts.
years.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
But the point is,
Okay.
if there was a
I don't
lot
have a problem
stricter
with that either.
regulations and control, it's unlikely that Maines would have got them the guns in the first place. So it may have well stopped them. But you're right. People who want guns are going to find a way to get guns.
Right. I'm just saying, you really think your objection to arming teachers who want to be armed and trained and armed, what your objection
No.
is they may go crazy and kill the students themselves.
Not at
Is
all.
that- okay.
Not
Then
at
what
all.
is-
I
why
don't
do you
think
object?
having guns, because you know how many students can just take a teacher off guard and oh shit,
I just
let's get her
told you.
gun.
I just told you that the gun will not be accessible unless somebody flips. There's an alarm or whatever, just
Also-
like
So here, how
like
about
a
this?
fire
All
alarm.
teachers are required to be Chuck Norris.
Not all teachers.
Oh, yeah.
Only the ones that volunteer for
So how
it.
about this? You know, you get your watches synchronized, you and your buddy goes down to the office and flips the fucking switch while you're standing behind the teacher at the gun box when the fucking click, hey, give me that motherfucker, pop, 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 pop. You don't know.
I didn't say it was 100%. I just said.
He's saying it will do more help than harm.
Right. That's all.
I disagree.
I disagree as well.
The same thing. Remember, they wanted to have air marshals on the flights
Yeah, that
with
was-
guns.
How well
right?
has that worked out?
I don't know. I don't know if they even implemented it, but
They
I don't have a
did.
problem with
Oh
it.
yeah, no, there's an air marshal on like every flight. I'm pretty
Okay.
sure, right?
What's wrong with that?
I didn't say anything was wrong with that.
Well, the air marshal could go crazy and start shooting, couldn't he?
He very well could, Armand.
Okay.
Holy shit.
But he's
you're right.
trained. He's a
That's what I said.
marshal.
That's what I said. These teachers have to be at least trained in
So
actually being proficient with a
cops got to
weapon.
be teachers now. Do you get extra pay? 'Cause
Teachers
I'll learn
gotta be
how-
cops.
I'll learn how to shoot a gun if I'm a
I
teacher
think a
for
lot of
extra 20
teachers would
grand.
probably want to, they
Now,
don't
what
want to be
happens-
helpless.
What happens when you've gathered this 20 grand for 10 years extra because you learn how to shoot a gun and everything, and then a school shooting happens and you don't fucking do a goddamn thing? Then what? Do
I
you go
didn't
to
say-
prison
I didn't
because
say
you
anything about-
should?
I didn't say anything about paying them extra. I just said anybody who wants to,
well,
the
who the
school will
fuck would
pay
do
for it.
that?
How about this?
Well, the school pays for
The
it.
school
then you-
district has now trained you to be weapons proficient. Now you are more qualified to do a security or other type of position to make more money doing that. Boom, they just lost that teacher because they can make money now with this training being a security guard. Now that they're weapons.
For the
You think a
record
security
here, I
guard
don't
makes
wanna-
more money than a teacher?
Yes.
I would say
Oh,
For the record, I
get
don't want to
outta
take
here.
anybody's guns. I just want to make them
For the record, Eric wants to take your guns.
harder to get if you are crazy. You know what I mean? If you've got a violent past and you've got violent crimes, you don't need a fucking
We
gun.
have
Let's be serious about
1,700
things.
laws. That's good coming from you. You agree with me. Look at all the drug laws we have. People still get drugs. It
no.
doesn't do a damn thing.
Yes, we
I'm
do.
not saying that. I'm saying when you
Yes,
go
we
to
do.
buy a
See?
gun brand
Yeah,
new
they're-
from a store, it'll
You
be
don't have
harder
go
to
the-
get.
You don't have to go to a store. I could get a gun today
Gun
illegally.
show, I know. You
Not a
could
gun show. I know where I could get
illegally?
guns. Yeah.
Well, that's easy.
Of course. So what law is going to prevent me from doing? There's all kinds of
There's
laws.
already laws on the books for
Of
that.
course. I need a permit and everything. I could have a gun tonight.
What's your argument here? I don't understand.
I can get a gun regardless.
Well,
I can
get
evade.
one.
I don't want one, but I could get it. It's like
Okay.
saying cocaine's illegal. You don't
But-
think you can get cocaine?
yeah, that's
Well,
easy
that
too.
argument
What do you
applies
mean?
to both.
That's a joke. Never mind.
So-
hold it.
Peach has a good point. You
he
hated
is.
Jews and now you want to take people's guns.
Gosh, it would sound.
Where's
like that.
your trench coat at, pal?
I'm not sure. What is your stand on gun control? I'm not sure.
Mine?
Yeah.
I don't know. People can control their own guns, as far as I'm fucking concerned. I just don't think it should be. You shouldn't be able to have access to a legally bought weapon if you're fucking crazy or have violent crimes in your past. Period.
Violent crimes.
Yeah,
I'm
but we do
sure.
have. You will admit we do have laws on the books to that
Well,
effect.
yeah.
Okay, we have hundreds of laws.
What do you think about just taking it
Now.
longer to like
Now,
to receive
and
your weapon?
two.
Or making it more like to get your first gun, that first background check. That could take 6 months in my opinion, and it'd be fine. But people
Yeah,
get
it
pissed
totally
off over a
can.
week.
It's
You know
only
what I mean?
3 days and shit.
Yeah, my point is you could take and do the most exhaustive background check forever, and if it comes up clean, fine, give them a gun.
Let me give you a theoretical.
Please do.
What would you think would be a safer safer environment? An environment where nobody has guns, theoretically,
Okay.
where, like a gun-free zone, for instance,
Sure.
which theoretically these schools are, or somewhere where everybody has a gun.
You're
It's just a rhetorical question.
Wild
I'm not-
West.
Here, I'm going to ask you to
Okay.
clarify. I'm going to ask you
Yeah.
to clarify. Are there guns that can be brought into this gun-free zone?
Everybody has a gun.
No,
Everybody has
whenever
a gun.
everybody has no guns.
Gun-free zone.
There is no such thing as a gun-free zone.
You just told me there was.
You mind rhetorical?
Yes.
Well, by definition,
Well, you
it's
can't
gun-free.
enforce that it's a gun. That's what I'm saying. A
Well,
gun-free.
listen, then it's not a gun-free zone.
Well, yeah, there's a force field around it. Any gun that comes
There
in
you
is
go.
vaporized.
So that's the
that's
safer-
safer.
that's the safer
correct.
spot. That's the one.
But that's impossible. I'm just talking about.
With that attitude, baby.
Yeah, right.
It can't happen. You guys know that.
Again, maybe not with that attitude.
Would you take it? Okay, you're the president.
Would
Or
I have a-
dictator. What
listen,
would you do?
If you're
Would
going
you
to
do
ask me if
anything?
I would protect my family with a gun, 100%, yeah.
No, I'm talking about for schools. Is there any way to prevent something like this from happening again? What measures would you take that
I don't
haven't
know.
been taken already?
so
my
my
problem is
hot-
whenever you do this, you take away our liberty, our freedoms. whenever you
Listen,
start,
my hot-headed ass doesn't need to make legislation for an entire country.
yeah, don't ask him things like
I don't
this.
know that.
Why not? I'm just it's
Because I'm
rhetorical.
an asshole and I get angry about
And
it.
an idiot.
And an idiot.
Well, take a few deep breaths, count to 10, and make
be
a cool,
logical.
emotionless decision.
Right.
What would you do? I just told you what I would do. I think the first thing would be to arm teachers, the
That's
ones that want to be armed.
categorically false. It is
Okay,
wrong.
that you wouldn't do that.
No,
okay, what
God,
would
no.
you do?
I would take the vets that are able and can pass, a good that don't have like real good PTSD trauma that are already trained and know how to operate a weapon. I would take them. Because a lot of vets have trouble getting jobs when they come back, and put them at the school. Give them a fucking sense of glory that they have to defend. This is their
All right.
shit. A veteran. You know what
I
I
don't
mean?
think that's a great idea either, man.
Okay, well, I don't have a problem with that
Okay,
either.
so maybe not.
I think we need to realize that this is, to a certain point, is a fact of fucking life in this day and
Yeah, but I think nobody
yeah,
really
so
wants
syphilis,
to accept
but we
that.
try to cure it. I mean, what come on. So there's nothing
obviously
we can do.
what you're saying, are we trying to cure it or limit it? Because there's no cure.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, we were trying to. There is no panacea. I agree. I don't have a problem with.
I don't think you
with
go as
your
far
sa-
as
your,
do
solution
school
either.
air marshals, more or less, is what he's saying.
Somebody
I'm
should
just
be
saying-
armed in the school. Would you agree with that?
I don't
Teachers,
necessarily
guards.
I don't think it's a
somebody.
teacher's responsibility.
Okay,
or
fine.
We
Guards,
shouldn't
all
put
right.
that
How
on
many
them.
guards? The problem I have with that is one guard in a high school like
No,
Columbine? You got to have
no.
like a dozen, right? Probably. It's a big school.
Well, the thing about that, it even goes further because then where do you get the budget to pay for these guys?
How about the guy? What was the guy in Florida? I mean, that guy was a cop, right? He's cowering behind the wall. Remember?
Oh, that was fucking embarrassing, wasn't it? I bet
Yeah.
every boy in blue that
Was
day
that
was kind of
Park Hill? What was that? Was it-
Fucker, yeah, Park Hills.
Yeah. I mean, that guy. That's the problem with that. Now, a teacher might do that too.
Except that's what
agree.
I'm saying. That's my point. You got a 25-year-old
So
girl that
arm
just
everybody.
graduated college.
I
You know,
think-
you can't give her a fucking gun and expect her to. I don't know, and I shouldn't say it's a case-to-case basis, obviously, but For the most part, you can't expect somebody to do that.
But that's what I'm saying. How many guards per, like if you got a 4,000 student school, what, one
Yeah,
guard
there's a
per
formula.
every
There's
200
a formula.
people?
I don't know it.
It's got to be more than one.
I don't know it. There's a formula.
Okay, but we're on the same page somewhat that somebody with a gun would be helpful.
Yeah, but if we agreed, the
Okay.
fucking show would suck.
Don't worry, we never agree on anything.
Right,
As
somebody's
if all three
disagreeing
of
on
us
all
are going to
three
agree
of
on
us.
anything.
We're like rock, paper,
Pack it up,
scissors.
Yeah,
boys.
give me a
Show's
break.
over.
Shit. We're more likely to dock each other than agree with each other.
That's never, ever going to happen.
Yeah, and we're never going to agree with each other.
That's probably true, too.
Go Trump.
All right, boys. What else we got to cover
Just
on
to
this one
prove,
here?
make a point.
That's probably it, man. That's,
Are we doing the after show right after today, or are we gonna wait till tomorrow?
Well, we're not going to do it before.
we can do it.
It's getting kind of late.
Yeah, we do it after. We do it tomorrow.
All right, let's try to do it tomorrow morning.
Hey, I'm from Europe.
right.
I do know what a fascist looks like. I'm not a fucking fascist. Oh,
He's
wait.
saying you're not. He's on your team.
Didn't say you're a fascist.
He's
okay,
on your
yeah.
team.
Fucking fascists out here. I'm in a room with a couple of fascists.
We were kind of accusing you of being anti-Semitic, more or less. Specifically, I called you a Nazi. And he gave me your,
Eric is?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I did
You're
specifically
anti-Semitic?
charge him with
Not
me.
at all.
Listen back to the older
Lies
episodes.
and deceit.
I did see him getting a little excited when you read that guy's, his ultimatum.
not true either.
Hit that top left button. That's how he felt when I was reading this.
That's not
I
the
don't know
Hebrew
about
national
that
anthem.
one.
Oh, he loves that
That's
sound
what
too.
he's singing. Do we have Hava Nagelo on here?
No, we don't.
Oh, you
Oh,
needs
Wow.
It wasn't bad, was it?
Jews, huh?
Yeah. No, I don't. God damn it, no. Fuck you guys. Both of you. Show's over.
And now you're homosexual?
Eric is
homosexual
pro-Jew. Thank you, Eric
anti-Semite.
Kilmer.
Who knows about this guy?
Anti-Semite.
All right, everybody. Thanks for showing up today. Like we just said a few minutes ago, we're going to do the wrap-up show tomorrow. You can,
Fucking
if you're listening and it's Monday, you can probably just straight download it. That's fine.
Yes.
Check out our website, surrealtalkpodcast.com. Remember to vote in the poll. Let's take a quick
Join
look
Team
at that.
Armand.
Yes. Join
We're
Team
all-
Armand.
Be
Everybody
part of the
loves that.
family.
Orange Jews.
Right now, the score is
Eric a lot, Everett a little.
574 to 570, Eric. But I'm going to change my
Wow. So
vote.
we got 574 anti-Semites out there.
573 to 571. I was on your team, but now I changed
Well,
it.
I'll
so.
fix that back to 575.
Hey, I can get on a team and change everything.
You could.
I'm not on a team
I
yet.
can get in the database and change everything, but I'm not going to do
You
that.
think you could, huh?
If you want to help support the show directly or indirectly, you can do our Patreon, which is patreon.com/surrealtalk, which is a voluntary subscription service. You can pledge us $1 to $1 billion a month, and that comes directly to us. You can go to our store, which is surrealtalkpodcast.com/store, to pick up all kinds of cool merchandise, including the #1 best-selling hoodie on the store, Team Armand hoodie.
Let's hear it for Armand.
Everybody.
Everyone. Team Armand. Yeah, let's get a round
which
of
one's it
applause.
gonna be?
That's
No,
America.
no,
We want the round of
wrong,
applause,
wrong.
Armand. That's
No,
not it either.
that's-
Round of applause, Armand. Nope,
No.
nope. One more. Nope.
There you go.
All right, Armand with the best fucking selling hoodie on the store. You can find us
Your
on Twitter.
producer.
You can find us on Twitter at Surreal Talk Show. On Facebook, just search Surreal Talk, Cults, Conspiracies, and the Paranormal. But there's two. We have a page and a group. Join the group.
Which is facebook.com/group/surrealtalkgroup. Feel free to email us at info@surrealtalkpodcast.com.
Yeah, and give us some suggestions for
Or
new shows.
Leave us a voicemail on surrealtalkpodcast.com/nothing because it's right on the right-hand side of the page. Or we have a Google voicemail also.
Yeah, let
which
me
is
get that number real quick here. It's 314-373 something 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 something. But
0700
is that right?
or 0070.
It's 314-329-0070. That's what it is.
0070, yeah. See,
Yep.
fucking told you.
007, huh?
Fucking told us, eh?
Fucking
He's always
told you
fucking
guys.
telling us. We got at least 6 voicemails on that side waiting
Fucking
for us. So.
guys. All right,
Yeah.
well, yeah, that's it. Yeah, 329-0070.
Thanks for showing up. Hope you guys liked the show today. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, fucking tell your friends, and blah, blah, blah. So
100 rounds isn't a lot, but that was in addition to what they had, Nate.
depends on how big your magazine is.
I got a big man.
I'd like to see you get shot with 100 rounds and tell me it's not a lot. Just saying. You know, it's relative.
Scarface took what?
Thank you.
10, 12?
Sorry.
I'll take your
Please.
fucking bullets. I'll take all your fucking bullets.
All right, y'all. We will catch you tomorrow
high.
/
He was
on the
high
next
as fuck.
download. See you.
Later, alligators. I expect to hear
Say hello to my little friend.
Yes, thank you, Armand, for that.
Is that the right button?
That's the right button.
Wow.
Let's see what they're saying. Keep the shows coming, guys. We are contractually obligated to do
Thanks,
just
Frank.
that.
Thank you.
You'd know where he's there.
So we love our paycheck. So we're definitely
Great show. Thanks, man. We appreciate it.
Changes.
Let me
the
get a
climate.
1 out of 10. Let me get a 1 out of 10 from everybody in the chat here. What'd you think of the shows today? Goods
go
is
ahead.
10 and
It's
bads
not
is
bad,
1.
but it wasn't a conspiracy or cult. That's
It's a true
my
crime,
objection.
Armand.
I'm going with 5.5 out of 10.
It's a true crime, Armand. Hey, we got an 8 there. You leave crocodiles out of this, Nate says. Frank Reynolds says 7.
He's being generous, too.
I think so, too.
At 420 out of 10, that doesn't work.
No, maybe it does, though. Maybe it fucking does.
That's the day this happened on, so we can't go with that.
Ooh, good point. And Panels coach says 9. Light Peach 6. Frank Reynolds out of 100.
Jason Causey says we should do one on the Charles Whitman story. Pretty wild-ass story.
That was pretty crazy.
Donna says a 7.5. Is it a solid 7.5, Donna? Is it 7.5 thick? What is it?
Is that
a little much?
Flaccid.
7.5 flaccid?
Yeah, so this is a monster.
That's a goddamn lasso.
Monster. Put the monster away, Pip.
I think I'd be a disappointment to Donna.
Armand, are you down? Wait. Cromer's got something going on in the morning at 10:30, right? So we got to hit this before that.
Yeah. I mean, he
Cool,
can use
so-
the other. He can use
9
the other
a.m.
studio. He's not doing video.
Oh, that's thicker than a Snicker, baby. I like that. That's funny.
Thicker than a Snicker ain't shit, to be honest with you.
It's an expression when
If
talking
you're
about
not if you're not too thicker, Snickers thick, then don't even bother. That's what I'm saying.
Are you fun size or are you the
King size. The
family
double.
shareable.
Eric's into the family stuff again. What does he keep bringing us up for?
I don't.
That's twice today.
I'm fucking out of here.
All right, guys. We'll catch you tomorrow morning. We'll see you later. Eric's in the family stuff. Pornhub.com/I did my stepmom.